Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Premier Endurance League GT3 Round 7, the final round of the season at Suzuka International Racing. It's me, JP. I'm going to be joined in the booth, as always, by Scotty Rankin. We've got also a producer, Mr. Dean Biggles, on the cameras for us here this evening as well. So, well, what can we say about last time out? Well, I can tell you what we can say about last time out as well, and well, hopefully we won't have any more issues that we had at Spa. It was absolutely bonkers. As we all saw, drivers were disconnecting. We got poor old Rui Kuistra, who was leading the race, got taken out because another car behind him disconnected. It was absolutely nuts. So, we'll have a chat with Scotty and we'll discuss the outcome of that very, very shortly. But Trent Allen leading the way at the moment in the elites here as well. He is currently on 1,333, a long way ahead of Harry Inwood, who's on 995. So, I think that's pretty much wrapped up. I think Trent's just got to basically keep it on the road if he can. In the Challenger standings, it is Brad Coates leading the way for Alt Revolution E-Racing on 903. That's a little bit more open with Jamie Saxon on 883. We'll see how those guys get on as well. But basically, the situation will be, give or take, if Jamie finishes first, Brad has to finish second. If Brad finishes first, well, Jamie's got no hope. So there you go. That's basically about as basic as it gets on that one. Not a lot else really to run through apart from it being at Suzuka. We are currently 3.608 miles, 5.807 kilometers in length here as well. You can see it there on your screen. Temperatures at the moment, 33 degrees. We're going to find out how it gets on as it goes on. Of course, the site of a Senna Prost incident that decided the championship. It's been the site of many more incidents as well. It's going to be exciting. We've got 2 hours lined up here of racing ready for you. All you have to do is sit back, get your drinks, get your popcorn, be ready, because I can tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to get spicy. I'm going to have a look now and bring in Scotty, who's in alongside me. Scotty, welcome in.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, boys, this is going to be an interesting one. The big thing is, of course, don't forget that GT3 aero and tyre update in effect as it was for the Open Series last weekend from Spa. Unfortunately, a very long time ago, I lost a bet. And I did order the 2.2. It's been sitting in a box, and unfortunately, we've been moving, and there's a bunch of stuff going on in my life that prevented me from getting here for a very long time. I had to wear a 2.2 on broadcast. So, would you say I've fulfilled my obligations to you, JP? Can we get that off screen as soon as physically possible?
I think at the end of the day, I think it does look good for you in pink there, mate. I've got to be honest. Thanks. You know, I thought it might have been a full one, but I'll give you credit on that one. At least you've actually fulfilled it. It did take a whole season, but we got there in the end, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the picture.
I've been sitting on that 2.2 for a good 4 months, by the way. It's been here. It's just never lined up for us both to be on together.
Well, there we go. Shares in YouTube chat. Hi, JP. Hi, Scotty. Hi, Cher. Thanks so much for joining us here as well. We're into warm-up. We'll bring you up the grid when they get on to the race session as well, and we'll have to get to the end of the warm-up until the end of the warm-up session. So there we go. Scotty, Spa. That was a interesting one for all parties involved.
I haven't had an opportunity, unfortunately, to go back and review it, but the thing about Spa, if you have a look at the things about the sim, I remember having a conversation with you about what the sim needed to do to make rain and everything possible. I reckon, I want to say about 18 months ago at a Road Atlanta race in this series. And one of the big things that we said way back then was that if iRacing's going to make rain work, the big thing was that it needed to probably lessen up some of the requirements in terms of hardware. Well, those requirements with the most recent season update have actually gotten more strict. And there's more issues popping up. That's development. The issues, you got to walk through them. There's no way to sort of sugarcoat it and walk around them. But it's one of those things. I actually tell you at the moment, I'm right on the verge of dumping $5,000 into a brand spanking new PC with the best of the best in it, and that shouldn't be a requirement to go iRacing. I feel like we walk a line between sim and game. And a lot of people sit down and say, well, it's a sim, it's a sim, it's a sim. Well, in a sim, you do have to spend a fair bit of money, to be perfectly honest. So is that the right way to go about things? I don't know, but what we do know is that it's caused issues for us in the series, and that's nothing you ever want to see.
Well, the problem is round 6 was right after the update, and it just went wrong. Like I couldn't. The connection for me was rotten. There was drivers disappearing all over the place. Even drivers reporting incidents going on as well. There was a lot happening. You know, as I said, I think I can't remember who it was who disconnected and literally took out the front 3. Going through down the run down into the first corner, literally disconnected. The car carried on going, wiped out the front 3 in front of him, put poor old Rue in the wall that was leading. Now they have made to come in now and say we're completely invalidating round 6 of this series. Now that round 6 was absolutely horrendous. Let's run down through. We're on board with Dutchy at the moment here as well in this Ford Mustang. Let's see if he's going to go all the way round, because this is where we start the hot lap, and he probably won't go in all the way around. We're coming down into turn number 1 as well. Through the right-hander, you're going to start lifting on the brakes. We go down through the gears into third gear for the first turn. Now this is the decision. Do we blip it up to 4th? We do. Now through the left, through the right. Now I can tell you here as well, on the run out of Antibank at the moment, he will drop down. Well, he's dropped down already into 3rd gear. He's going to come through the right-hander in 3rd as well. It's now going to be Dunlop. They've got to be careful of the curb on the outside. Why? Because it will spin you if you hit it full on. And around he goes. He manages to make it through. Degner 1 and 2. There's a bump on the inside. I drove GT3s here the other day, and there was a bump on the inside of Degner. He's got to be careful. There's the bump. Yep, through the right-hander as well. That corner, Degner 1, that curb, Scotty, is absolutely horrendous because it can bounce you out of control.
But it can also bend suspension arms. I remember just after the Mercedes AMG, the update to GT3s were by the parts, so this is actually teammates here, Dutch and Middleton getting alongside of each other. Big opportunity to try and get up the inside of somebody into the hairpin at turn 11, and then there's this long flat out. This is flat. You will not lift here. You will lift, and the opening laps on cold tires as well. Down to the spoon. Again, takes bravery. Middleton will dive out of the way. There will be some marbles on the outside. That's the difference between hot and cold tires. Make sure that you balance it. Got to clip the curb on the inside. Run it out over the curbs on the outside, because if you don't, you carry no speed down this straight.
Absolutely. Straight the way down now. We're going into 130R. It's going to be a slight little lift to get the car hooked up here. He's going to get it into 6th curve. There you go. Slight little lift. Gets it hooked up. Now running down into Casio just by the left-hander side. We're going to go hard on the brakes into 2nd gear. We want to get this rotated round. He was a bit deep into the entrance. Now on the run, is he going to keep it all to the right-hand side? No, he says, no, I'm going to dive into pit lane.
Well, that shows pit laning. That's a good opportunity to show the pit lane entry and how deep you can dive into there. So
that's how going to be important it's going to be as well for them to mention that they're going in pit lane. Coming out of that final corner, if you don't mention that you're going in pit lane, you are going to be in deep doo-doo. Somebody will run up to the back of you as well. So it's imperative they've got to mention it as well. You can see on the right-hand side, the weather 29 degrees centigrade, track's dry as a bone, and no rain forecasted at this moment in time. We are
JP, there is a forecast of rain in the final 15 minutes of the race.
Well, I'm going to take it as the fact that they might not get there. All right.
It's minimal. Yeah. It will be. I guarantee it'll be stay on slicks though. It'll be at the point whereby pitting will not gain you time. It'll just be keep it on the island.
Absolutely.
If we get any.
Yeah, if we get any at all, we'll find out. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring you up the grid very, very shortly here as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the bells, depending on which channel you're on, Premier or JPB. Hook them up there. It is completely free. Right, grid. Here we go. Let's see what's going on with this grid now. Ruka Istra out in front again. Hopefully he survives like he was in Spa. Then Owen Coleman in 2nd, Trent Allen in 3rd, and Leif McClymer in 4th. Then you've got Ben Jeffrey, Harry Inwood, Alfonso Latella, Nick Bottrell, Johnny Trott, and Andrew Dutch in 9th and 10th. Jeremy Greentree leading the Challenger classes with James Mason sitting in 12th, Scotty.
Just had to run away for 2 seconds.
That's all right. Moving on, we've got Sean Bonici and Dan Piper with Brad Coates and Matt Webber. Kurt Chapman in 17th for Bran Tucker in 18th. Ricky Provenzali 19th. Jesse Butler in 20th. Jamie Saxon, Vinny Ngern, Brooke Kadai, and Jesse McMiniman round off the 24 there. Scott, if you want to take us through the rest.
Yep, sure. 25th on backwards is Martin Hallinan from Glenn Jones. Nathaniel Coburn from Brant Johnson, one of the deeper elite drivers in the field. Dale Atkins from Greg Heaney. Matt McCamley and Nick Milligan outside 32. Bobby Kimo, who actually showed a good turn of speed, actually with a car switch. Unfortunately, doesn't look like he's running that one here tonight. Mark Foster in that Chevy. Oh, he's in for trouble. 4.5 seconds off the pace in qualifying. Jimmy Middleton, 5.6. And Paul Whiteman, 7.5 seconds off the pace down in 36th as well.
Good old Phil Whiteman. And then behind that is Stefan Mellis and Tim Lawson there. Scotty, I'm sure he loves being called Paul, but I'm pretty sure that's not his name. Well, oh, dearie me. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the pace lap. We're going to get going. Let's go, gents. Have a great broadcast. See you in 24 hours' time. Yeah, Benji, you definitely will on that one. Looking forward to that for tomorrow. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. Let's see if all of these drivers, 37 of them, make them through here cleanly. Pit stop cycle. Well, we'll have a chat about that once we get the race up and running. Of course, we will have that settled down, that F1 period time as well. We've got a Porsche out in front. I'm sure that will be the only time it will be leading here, to be blatantly honest with you. I don't think it's going to be leading any other way. Coming down into Casio Triangle now. Pace car is going to peel off and leave these guys to go on the run. Is Rue going to get to the end of the race? Only if there's not a disconnect and a yellow flag in behind him, he might do there as well. Absolutely showing great pace this season as well. But let's have a go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and people of all ages. Grab your drinks, grab your popcorn, grab your whiskey, grab your Fosters or whatever other pommy rubbish you're drinking and enjoy this race. Ladies and gentlemen, final round of the season, and it is going to be green, green, green. Rue's already gone, leading the way down into turn one there. Tucked in right behind him is Owen Coleman, Leif McClimate, Trent Allen and Harry Inwood. Everybody at the moment's looking like they're going to make it through cleanly. No real dramas, but it is Rue who takes the whole shot. Owen Coleman, Leif McClimate going door by door on the second and third place there. You can see a Mustang moving up on the inside as well. There's Trent Allen. There's somebody off the side of the circuit. That's James Mason. Unfortunately for him, Scotty, but at the moment, Rue leading the field through and has got through into Dunlop cleanly. Yeah, that's the big thing, folks. Getting through that opening lap is so critical. Balancing it out. Cold tyres, new tyre model. Second time of offering for the limited drivers on the new tyre model. Who's managing to gain? Who's managing to lose? I know the Acura and the updated aero balance did not fare all that well. So for Rue to keep his right up at the pointy end of the field is a big thing in the early stages here. Have a look at Leif McClimate. The Lamborghini's not been fantastic thus far. The big notes coming out of the patch that I heard about it was that it's quick, but gee whiz, it's difficult to drive for a long period of time. Big accident down the rear of the field. Yeah, you can see it's been a little bit of drama at the moment. I think we went 2 or 3 wide, climb it up one, Inwood up one. You can see them all crawling across the track at the moment. It's going to be absolutely a night spin. Here we go. There you go. You go see little bit of contacts there. Brooke Kadai runs a little bit wide at the moment. Jesse McMinimum sneaks up the inside as well. Brant Johnson is also in there. Oh, Brant goes down. Hold your brake. Oh no. Oh, dude. He didn't hold his brake. He would have been on the brakes. You see, he was hard on the brakes, but remember, no ABS. Oh, another car's gone around. I think I saw Glenn Jones hit the barriers hard off the 130R. Yeah, and that's right rear destroyed off that car. Oh boy, are we going to see a safety car straight off the bat here? Well, we're going to hold on to our hats, ladies and gentlemen. We will going to find this out, whether or not this is going to come here at the same time. Ricky Provenzali sitting in behind Jamie Saxon at the moment. Is there going to be a safety car? We'll keep an eye on it here as well. And at the moment, there is not a safety car as Provenzali goes and gains that position over Coburn in that Lamborghini. Somebody's off the side of the circuit as well. I think that might have been Greg Heaney. Lots of things going on here at the moment there. Brooke Kadai off the side of the circuit as well. Scotty, is everybody struggling with a tyre model? We saw this at Spa. Well, when we could see the cars, of course. Well, the thing is, there's just not enough setups out for the new model yet. So everyone's sort of grabbing what they've got and adapting it. There'd probably be a bunch of people probably running a Watkins Glen set, which is probably the right way to go around here. It'd be fairly close at Suzuka because you want a reasonably high wing set to get you through that first sector. So at the moment,
keep your eyes on the guys up at the front. And I can tell you there are 3 cars that have made their way back into the pit lane at the moment. I think Greg Heaney, Matt McCamley, Glenn Jones we saw, and Brent Johnson as well. So 4 cars actually involved in that opening lap incident. And there was a penalty for the 999 car on lap 1, which was Sean Benici.
Yeah, Benici's got a penalty at the minute as well. So let's have a look at from the replay here. Stefan Mellis in there coming down into Degner 1 at the moment. There's going to be, he runs a little bit wide. Does he come back on? Yeah, he manages to hold it there for Stefan Mellis. Yeah, clean as well. Matty Webber also had some dramas for twisting Key Racing into the hairpin. Is he going to get bumped? Oh, he definitely is. Oh, man. What is going on there?
Well, that would be what was going on the lead lap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So remember when we got down that hairpin on lap 1, there was issues. That's probably what we were looking for, was that one right there. Nothing going on at the front at this point in time, but Owen Coleman just set the fastest lap of the race. So he's got a car that looks quite happy on the medium to high fuel. The big thing I saw from Rue there, you see, he just didn't quite make the second apex at the turn 1-2 complex. Just couldn't quite get it pitched back, but it looks like he was sort of correcting a slide. So I wonder whether or not he's got a great car on quality performance, but it's just a little bit edgy now with a bit more fuel in it.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be very twitchy, isn't it? As I said, this tyre model has killed a lot of people. And, you know, I've seen people change cars in series because they can't get used to the tyre model on a certain car, but they like it on the other one. However, I did see one guy go from the Porsche to the Corvette, which I thought was a very weird choice indeed, to be honest. But yeah, I wouldn't be making that choice either, to be blatantly honest with you. But he did as well. Owen Coleman now sitting in behind Rue. Into the hairpin we go. Coleman now tucked in behind. They're opening up a gap of a second behind McClymont and Allen and inward Jeffrey, Bottrell, Latella, Dutch, all in their own little pack behind them as well. Starting developing. Green Tree leading the way in the challengers. He's got Tucker tucked up right behind him. Brant Tucker there as well. Looking backwards, there is Rue, there is Coleman. Into Spoon they go through the left-hander. He's managing to stay in right behind him here. What is Coleman on now, Scotty? Is he on a I must follow Rue? Is he going to try and take the position away? What's the situation for Owen Coleman at this moment in time?
Look, by the look of things, I reckon he's running a little bit less downforce, because Rue looks quite good through the high downforce stuff, particularly through Spoon and up through that first sector sort of thing. That's where he looks good. So the thing is, if Owen can probably just breathe on his tyres a little bit, I wouldn't say the new tyre model's fragile. That's definitely not the way to describe it. But you do have to think about what you're doing with the tyre model, is the big thing. You've got to bring them in gently. And you're just seeing in the front end of that shot, one of the bigger issues he's going to face is those cars that had to get back to the pit lane on lap 1. None of them towed, which meant no safety car. And they're all just in front of the leaders. And you can see, big wiggle from Owen. So I think one of the bigger things that Owen's going to sort of manage here is, does he think Rue's tyre is going to go away from him? If he does so, the biggest thing he can do right now is just not punch brilliant laps out right now. I tell you what, Leith McClymont actually went and set the fastest lap of the race, 1:59.9. So he's the first of the cars in race trim to dip into the 59s. Remember, quali trim, pole position lap time, 58.8. So we are over a second away from that. Yeah, absolutely here as well. We've got hour 53 on the clock at the moment. You see Inward has got Jeffrey tucked in right behind him. Nick Bottrell, Dutch, Trent, for Trott and Piper, going through Degner 2 now. Ben Jeffrey tucked in right behind him in that Mercedes. Inward also in the same time. So nice little fighting taking place at the moment. Jamie Saxon, Sean Benici and Vinny Nguyen still scrapping it out. In through Degner 1 they go. That bump, I cannot believe it. When I ran the McLaren through Degner 1, Jesus Christ, did it want to try and kill me at the same time. It was absolutely crazy. These guys have got to contend with that as well. In through the hairpin now. Through the run through 200R we go. On the run into Spoon. You can see Saxon still tucked in right behind Benici. Benici in behind and going. And now they're moving forward as well. It's going to be an interesting fight here, because I think, Scotty, these guys have got to decide, is it worth fighting with 1 hour 52 to go, or is it worth just sitting in behind each other and playing follow my leader? 100%. So Suzuka is one of the few tracks where I'd actually sit here and recommend actually go and fight for it. And the reason for it is we're going to see an overtake down into P5. That'll be Ben Jeffrey up the inside of Harry Inwood. The reason why I'd be saying fight, but if once the guy gets down the inside, basically cover him off so he can never get to your inside. Once he gets there, obviously probably just lift and yield a little bit, but prevent him from getting there. This is a track position track. It is so difficult to get the job done around here that fight for it, scrap for it. If you can prevent him from getting to your inside, do so. It just because those opportunities are. If you drive an average lap and you just position the car awkwardly at Suzuka, ain't gonna happen.
No, it is. I fully agree with you. I think overtaking is going to be very difficult indeed. Rudale's got Coleman and McClimate now. McClimate is now right in behind the back of him at the moment. Another fastest lap from Leaf, 1:59.76 here. Absolutely strolling through as Leaf. He's closed up in the back of that Lamborghini. Not a car of choice. In fact, Leaf's the only. No, he's not. It's two with Tim Lawson all the way down in 38th. Very surprised on the fact that he has got a Lamborghini there as well. But it's interesting the fact that the Lambo's doing so well, Scotty. He set lap times here as well, the fastest lap of the race, and seems to be doing a stellar job.
Yeah, but the difficulty for Leith is, and I think one of the things he's been struggling with, he's been willing to stick with this Lamborghini. He's one of the last guys that's even thinking about running it, is that instability. The rear end does misbehave a fair bit, and it requires a fair bit of application. It was actually about the only car that's worse to drive. Was chatting to a setup builder for GT3s, one of the setup companies. I won't reveal any more than that, other than he's working one of the major setup factories, and he said, I hate my job because all my teammates got given some of the good GT3s, because I think they break the GT3s up by 3, or they split it across 3 of them. I got given the Corvette. That's why he hates his job.
I wouldn't want to be doing that either.
Oh, Rue went wide. Rue went deep into...
Yeah, Rue's off the side of the circuit. It's going to be a slowdown there as well. Unfortunately for Rue, he's going to be tucked in now. How is that slowdown going to affect him going down into turn number 1? Is he going to be able to get it off in time? Because he definitely will have one, but is he going to be able to slow it offline? Or is he going to...
Oh, he makes it awkward.
Yeah, he made it awkward, Scotty. He weren't going to lose that for Rue. He knew he had to try and take it off. He's got a good chance that if he's got any left now, he can just drop it down into third and just roll around these corners. It's very difficult to overtake. Said marbles on the outside. The overtaking is going to be very, very tough for Rue as well. So for Owen Coleman in behind him. So for Rue at the moment, he kind of lost that. He kind of got that slowdown in kind of the right place because it allowed him to take it off in time.
Yeah, he served it through turn 1, turn 2. He basically nearly got it clear. I was keeping an eye on when the slowdown served itself. It was halfway through between 1 and 2. So it was, by the time he got to turn 2, he was actually okay. And I don't think he's held up Owen Coleman there at all. So there's no cheeky. He's definitely tried to serve it unwittingly. Went back and had a quick look at the way in there. He just missed his braking mark. It was a plain and simple mistake. Just in deep. It wasn't as if he pinched a brake or anything. He threw a bunch of wheel at it to try and make the final corner. The difficulty I have with that is that's one mistake, and that says the front axle of that car's not pulling up the way that he wants necessarily, or if he has missed his braking marker, those fronts are now overheated. Now the tyres, the new GT3 tyre model, they do come back to you, so it's not just... The big thing about the old model was as soon as you slid them once, that was it. They switched off for the rest of the race. Yeah. So he should be okay here.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. You had to give it at least 2 or 3 laps to even remotely get them back to a working order for the tyre model. So the fact that now they can go and get that car back to them as well is stunning for them. It just takes a lot of getting used to at the beginning. Through 130 we go in the Casio. You can see Coleman just ran a little bit wider than he wanted to in that Acura as well. Leaf in behind on the Lamborghini is now through Casio Triangle on the run around the final corner. He takes a narrower line than Coleman in front. You can see it, but he's going to bring that car up right in behind him. Is the draft going to be strong? Is it going to be 2 tenths, which is probably what we expect they've got to get near? As you can see him coming down now, he took about 1.5 tenths out of Coleman under the draft as well, so he has got to be a lot closer, Scotty, going down into turn 1.
Yeah, he certainly has to, but I don't even think turn 1's your premium overtaking spot. It's either the hairpin or it's that final chicane's probably a little bit easier, because turn 1 you're carrying so much speed and you just wipe it off. So Rue's quick in a straight line and he's struggling through the high downforce stuff. But the moment you see Owen Coleman's in that dirty air, he just can't get the car to bite the way that he wants. And then Rue takes off a little bit through here. So I reckon Coleman's a little bit quicker in a straight line, but he just doesn't have the bite and the high speed stuff. And the problem is to build your overtakes pretty much at the hairpin or at Spoon or out of 130R into the Casio triangle, you've got to have a little bit of downforce to set you up for that. And I think he's just ultimately the only way to get an overtake done is to be quick in a straight line or to be right there in a straight line. But he just can't get close enough. What I am going to do, I'm going to go and have a chat to a few guys with fuel strategy as we have a look a little bit deeper in the pack. If it's tight, like I said, this is a track position race. About the only way to make it on a track position race. So give yourself a little bit of strategy. So if Coleman can stick to Rue here and he saves fuel, even if it's a second across the race and he's less than a second behind him at the final pit stop, that's how he gets the job done. That is far and away the easiest way to get it done.
Absolutely. I think Dan Piper, though, is going to be locked in a battle with Mr. Trott here at the same time. He's got Green Tree, leader of the challengers, in behind him. You see them tucked up there as well. Jeremy Greentree coming at him once again in that McLaren. He's got that McLaren in front. And trust me, there's another McLaren in front of that. There's 3 McLarens fighting it out down into Casio at the moment in time. Is led by Trott, is led by Piper, is led by Greentree. There's no Lando Norris. There's no Oscar Piastri. It is Dan Piper, John Trott, and Jeremy Greentree here as well. Down the start finish straight they go. It's going to be tucked in right behind. There's almost side by side up front as well. We'll have a look at that in a minute, but let's let this one play out going down into turn 1. Trott sat in the middle here. He's got Piper in behind and Greentree in behind that. Greentree closes right in here. You can see him in that car as well through the left-hander. And now we go through the right-hander again. Greentree still tucked in there. He's got nowhere to go at the moment. And this is going to be the thing for Jeremy Greentree. He's got to play this by ear. He's got to go round the right-hander into Dunlop. Can he force a mistake through Dunlop as well? There's that curb on the outside that will bite you if you hit it. You can see them all trying to stay off it here. Greentree's just got no response whatsoever. Piper is leading this way as well. Behind that, we've got Brant Tucker, who's got Mason, Latella, Webber, and Butler climbing all over him as well. You can see them just in the bottom of your picture or just in the back of your picture now. And these guys are continuing to fight. 1:44 on the clock at the moment. There's a big old dive in behind him as well. I think that was Latella. I think that might be Brant Tucker. He's there as well. He's got the Mercedes of Latella running alongside him. Mason's got to make the move. Latella's round the outside in the Merc. He's going to have the inside to Spoon at the moment. He's going to go hard on the brakes into Spoon as he outdoes him. Now he's going to almost contact for Tucker with Webber in behind. That's a great little run there for, unfortunately though, for Brant Tucker. He's down 2 spots. And Latella and Mason just did him in 2 corners. And Brant Tucker's going to have to find his way back through if he can. What did you find out, Scotty? What have we got going on?
Yeah, not a lot of fuel saving going on. I pretty much twigged on that. I was just watching a fair bit that was going on. The other thing I did just witness is Stefan Mellis has just turned Jimmy Middleton. That was all happening just in front of Rick Provenzali. And, well, Provenzali was not happy that there was a couple of guys holding him up right there. He definitely felt quicker. But Stefan Mellis definitely got into middle. I wonder whether or not Middleton was slightly offline or made a little mistake. Yeah. It was about a lap ago.
Okay, well, we'll see if we can have a look back and see if we can find it there as well. But you can see
there's a car off a Spoon. There's a car in trouble off a Spoon right now.
There is at the moment as well. And I think that might have been Stefan Mellis.
Dale Atkins. Yeah, is around off a Spoon.
Yeah, Atkins off as well. We'll have a look back at the same time. Here is Dale Atkins' drama. There's Mellis in front of him, mind you. I do wonder whether or not this is a continuation of the pair of them. Oh, no, Atkins just goes round on his own. Is that grabbing too much throttle, Scotty? Is that the problem?
No, a bit of curb. You can absolutely bottom the car out on those outside curbs. You've got to be careful with how you hit them. And the problem with the curbs here at Suzuka is that they've got a drainage ditch on the back side of them, so you've got to be very careful with where you place the car.
Yeah, it's the same in Hungaro Ring. I think it's turn 4. They've got that drain on the outside, which is absolutely horrendous. And when you hit it, you're going round regardless. And this is the same thing here. Rue and Coleman still out in front at the moment. We've got Benici on your screen, touched in behind Vinny Nguyen here. As these guys are continuing to scrap it out all the time. You can see the battles on the left-hand side. Orange, they're below half a second. Yellow, they're above half a second. And if they're white, they're above a second at the moment as well. Up to the leaders we go of Rue and Coleman. Coleman still tucked in. He just doesn't have a response, Scotty, for Rue at all, does Owen Coleman. Is he ever going to be able to get there?
Well, lap traffic and using lap traffic as a pick is the next thing. I mean, it's just you never want to do it, but when you're left with little options and how difficult it is to overtake, so that's lap traffic jumping out of the way. So that's Brett Johnson going a lap down at the moment because he was involved in all the issues earlier on. Update on Dale Atkins as well. He had an issue the previous lap going through the Casio Triangle, the chicane there, so he was actually off the track.
Well, there we go. Now we know what happened to him. Owen Coleman still tucked in through the S's section we go at the moment as well. There you go. Kurt Chapman has just gone through on Brad Coates. Coates trying to come back around the outside. That's not going to work there. Trust me on that one. That's not a good idea. Let him go, Brad, and then try and get him somewhere else as well. Unfortunately, you're stuck in behind him here up through the S's because it is going to be a little bit of trouble currently at the moment. Brad Coates has got no response for what's going on. Jimmy Newen, Benici, Saxon, they're still fighting out as well. Saxon, of course, in that challengers fight here. He's got to try and get over on Brad Coates. Whoever is ahead from Coates and Chapman is the one that's going to take the victory here as well. Benici still in there, can't get past Vinnie Newen at the moment. Jamie Saxon still can't get past him either. Saxon's in a bad spot, Scotty, especially in the challengers.
Yeah, he is, and Newen's sort of got to have a think about what he wants to do here. The other thing is they've lost a significant amount of time in this little fight to Brad Coates as the next car on the road for 18th as they get down over the top of the hairpin over there. But that corner is really, really slow and really, really tight. And if you get in hard on the right, somebody's covering you off on the inside. I don't hate that because then you can switch back, drive it back underneath them. That's one of the ways that you can try and get a run off. That'll get you to the inside when you get all the way up to Spoon, but it's difficult. Marbles are already starting to build on the outside of the racetrack as well, so keep your mind on that one.
Please. Jesus. Nick Bottrell got very close. Nick Bottrell got very, very close to Harry Inwood. He's surely got to let him go back through. 10-second penalty for car 54 for causing an incident as well. So unfortunately, car 54 is Stefan Mellis. He's got a 10-second penalty. Nick Bottrell does allow Inwood to go through there, Scotty, but boy, oh boy, that was close.
Yeah, it was. And Andrew Dutch now looks at the... Remember what I was saying about how difficult it is to get the pass overtaken? So all of a sudden, you just start propping the guy up. What it does is it backs you up to that next group. And I think we're starting to see little bits and pieces of that. Dutch has sort of crawled up on these guys. He's not necessarily been a part of this fight. With them squabbling... and that's the amount of junk that's been dragged on the windscreen. That wasn't a windscreen wiper for rain. That was a windscreen wiper because there was a bunch of dust and dirt on the tear off, and he wanted to remove it if he could.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully there won't be that rain. If there does come, it's going to come towards the end on board with Dutchin out. Here he's got Bottrell in front of him. We've got Jesse Butler having a go at Matty Webber, who's having a go at Tucker. Behind that, Mason, Chapman and Coates. Behind that is Vinnie Newen as well, Sean Benici and Jamie Saxon as they're continuing to fight all at the same time. You can see through the side-by-side, through Degner 1. Checked him up. Sean Benici there has just gone and had a very, very dramatic moment and has cut the nose off Vinnie Newen, who just literally, unfortunately, needs a plastic surgeon to get that nose replaced. I'm sure Kim Kardashian knows ones for him, so I'm sure he'll be able to get on them as well. Happy to chat on behalf of RDR, guys. Yeah, as well. So great little fight going on at the same time. Just going to give Scotty a minute to come back as well. The leaders fighting out. Coleman's tucked in right behind Rue. Rue goes on the defense. He's going to hug that wall more than he does his favourite grandma here at the moment. He's going to go. Coleman's going to try and take him around the outside. Is he going to be able to make it? Coleman's got to be stronger. He's looking for the cutback. He is setting him up for the cutback here as well. But he's lost time as Owen Coleman. McClimate climbs his in as well as we try and focus in on them very small machines down there at the same time. If we get a closer angle, that would be amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Producer, sir, as McClimate tucks in right behind him here as well. Great battle from the front three, but the front three now, Scotty, very grouped together. It's all going to be a three-way fight.
And the first thing I'll be saying to Leith here is let him have at it and fuel save. Let him have at it and fuel save. And the biggest reason I say that is you can't gain anything by trying to race them. Suzuka's not one of those tracks where you can just shove the nose in and get the job done. So just crawl up on them and then just lift off and let them have their battle. Have a look in the rear view mirror. If you have a look back from Leith McCormick, who's the next guy on the road? 4 seconds back, teammate Trent Allen. So, oh, he gets the inside.
Oh, he's in the wall as
That's
well.
the broken right rear for Owen Coleman. Yeah, he'll be done there.
Oh, he's crapping badly. Look at that. He can't even get it going the other way.
I just said to team boss, Greg Brooks, I just said, just tell him to keep his head because he's in a real good shot here. He doesn't. The biggest thing in that situation is you don't want to race the guy too hard at Suzuka. Like that's not really. Look how far back he is on the way in here. You can't get that done from there.
No, he's never going to make that, dude. That's a penalty coming all day for Leaf, unfortunately. As Greggy Brooks just put, let's go Leaf in YouTube chat. Well, he definitely went, but I don't quite know where he went somewhere. And unfortunately for Owen Coleman, he is broke. He's trying to get that car back all the way down in 25th. This is the problem, Scotty. Now, no matter what penalty Leaf gets, poor old Coleman is still now basically out of the race for the whole of the race.
You're right. I mean, that might be a drive. I reckon it's nearly bad enough to trigger a drive through, to be honest. So it wouldn't surprise me if that would eliminate Leaf as well. Because again, remember what we're talking about. He's going to have a supreme amount of pace. Whoa, that's mum. That's kitty litter. That's the kitty litter. But the biggest thing is just keep your head. Again, in Leaf's perspective, is he quicker than the guys ahead? Well, the time on the board said yes, but you need a massive overlap in terms of opportunity or a mistake, and that was not an opportunity to get down the inside. Again, that's where the fuel saving kicks in. If you can go 1 lap longer on the fuel in that first stint, and the guys around you all switch to fresher tires, you pop out ahead of them because you went that 1 lap on the warm tires. You know, there's little things that you can do there. Suzuka's not a racetrack where you just show up on a guy, you get the overtake done, and you disappear into the sunset. You show up on a guy and you got to outthink him, and that wasn't outthinking him. That was attempting to outdrive, and he didn't need to do it.
No, I agree, and unfortunately we'll keep an eye out on that as well. 10-second penalty for Kurt Chapman, who unfortunately for causing an incident on lap 11. So Chapman has got a penalty there at the same time, but we'll keep an eye out here what goes on with Leaf, what's going to happen there as well. Greggy in YouTube chat, oops, he just put there at the same time after saying well done. Butler, Tucker in behind him, Green Tree still leading the Challenger class as well. He's ahead of Coates, and unfortunately for gone.
I'll defend Leith a little bit. He's had a frustrating season. He's not putting any reliable results together, and I think he's been in the fence just about each and every week. And I wonder if Owen Coleman might be on his way back into pit lane. The big thing I would say for Leith is frustrating season, and that screams to me he's just frustrated with things. That is what it reeks of sometimes. That's racing too, you know.
Yeah, I think it is, but I think he just dived up the inside and couldn't get there. He was too far away there as well. Big puff of smoke from the guys in and around him at the same time. I think Brant Tucker may have been a little bit of running off at the same time, and Sean Bonici looks like possibly he's been off at the same time here as well. But Bonici is there with Coates, Chapman, Tucker, and Green Tree still fighting out. Coleman, where is he at the moment? Oh, Ricky's out at the moment as well. And there's a fight here on your screen at the moment. Brant Tucker and Maddie Webber.
Yeah, Tucker's got down the inside, got that one done. And I'm just watching Coleman's looking for a shot, opportunity to cut across from outside the track to the pit lane. I think he's going to make it. That thing was driving horribly back to the pit lane. He's now there. He's off the lead lap, and he's nearly going to drop 2 laps down by the time he actually gets a pit stop.
And that's the thing. There's no outcome that Coleman's going to be happy with. You know, he'll call DQ, he'll call whatever he can possibly call here, but for Owen Coleman, what can you do about it? You can't do a lot about it, and he's just got to suck it up. Yeah, Leaf's going to be in trouble. We know this. We know there's going to be something coming, but at the moment we can't help it as well. Ricky's out due to packet loss, so we'll have to see how that one goes as well.
He was having issues in practice and qualifying too. He was having big issues with his PC.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, Leaf does look like he's just had some form of drama though, because that's a definite way back from second to sixth.
Oh, he's gone around. He's gone around off Spoon.
Yeah, he's turned the car, I think. We're trying to see if we can find that there as well. Oh, no, poor Ricky DC'd again. He did. So there we go. At the same time, whatever he's done on that one, he hit the back end as well.
He backed it.
See if you can find Alan's overtake on Leaf might give you a better idea there, because Leaf is off the circuit. We'll have a look and see if we can find it there as well. See if we can bring it to you and see what happened to Leaf McClimate there at the same time. Yeah, so click on Leaf, and I think we're going to find him.
Just keep your eyes out. There's a car. There it is.
Oh, there he is.
Safety car's been deployed.
Bang. There you go. Safety car's out. Who's in pit lane?
Who's that for? 25th? Somewhere around 25th? In the fence.
Is that James Mason in the fence, was it? Did Mason have some drama? Oh, why do I feel a curb on the outside is going to play a part to this? Oh, there we go for James Mason in that Acura as well. Look at the state of that, Scotty. We broke it all. Look at all the bits flying off it.
I mean, that's bog standard for 130R, isn't it? Once you get off there, it's going around. But you can see the big old wiggle. He had 3 or 4 wiggles on the way into 130R. He's on the grass at the tip in. That was the issue.
Yeah, he didn't get the angle. He was already he was already on the grass at that moment before he even went into entry. So he was already sliding. So for him now, he's got to try and get that car back and see what goes on, because it's going to be interesting for him. He's had to tow. We have got a safety car out on the racetrack at the moment as well. Just waiting for the safety car currently to pick up the leader, and the safety car driver, old Scotty Bartain, is out, in that car as well. But where's this going to leave him on fuel strategy, Scotty? Half an hour in, do you think it's early enough?
Well, I mean, this, you'd take the free pit stop here. You're not going to get home. This will transition this guaranteed into a 3-stop race, because there's no way that you'll get home from there. So, but the big thing is, I think there's 3/4 of a tank gone out of these cars, and that just means it's just you can't not take a freebie here. But what I would be doing is, if you're potentially in the middle to the back of the pack and you're a long way down, maybe don't fill the thing. Maybe add half a tank worth of fuel.
Yeah.
Would be my thing. Grab a whole bunch of spots, because a couple of reasons. Number one, you're going to be on fresh tires. Number two, you're going to be in a really, really light car. And number three, you'll gain a ton of track position.
He's picking up Rue, the pace car leader. So there you go. That printracer.net pace car there does come out and comes out in front of the leader. So thank you to printracer.net for sponsoring the safety car, driven by Scotty Bartain in that Aston Martin. So a great job from him. 1 hour and 28 left on the clock there. They're all flooding out. We'll give you the run through. Once they've all come out of pit lane, it's all going to be a little bit iggly-piggly and all over the place at the moment. So there we go. We're going to find out what they're going to be able to do here on this pit stop cycle. See what goes on. Rue's out in front. Alan second. Jeffrey third. Green Tree leading the challengers. Where is Saxon? Oh, Saxon's a long way back at this moment in time, because he's got to try and stay ahead of Brett Coates if he can. And Coates, well, he's going to tuck him right in behind Coates, I suppose, Scotty. But how is going to be Saxon going to be able to handle this?
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one. Leith did get his car repaired and get back out there, but he'll have no safety car. He'll have no fast repair left for the end of the race. So big thing for Leith is that he's just got to drive himself and manage that. And remember, the big thing is that Lamborghini gets lighter on fuel, the rear end, and that he's had a lot of issues with stopping it. So nearly as you get deeper into the stint, you've actually got to underdrive it more and more and more and more. And the thing, I think, from his perspective, he's just got suckered into overdriving it a little bit, with some potentially on the front end. This will be a tricky one as well. Have a look at Green Tree at the moment. He's doing a phenomenal job. He's inside the top 10 is Jeremy Green Tree in the McLaren in the Challenger class. So he's doing a phenomenal job to have himself that high up. Brent Tucker's 2 spots back, sits second in class, and Chapman's there in behind him. So just wait. I think the big thing that we're still going to have a look at is who's massively gained out of this pit stop. And I think Dutch is actually one of the guys that's gained a fair bit as well, because he's started out at 10th. And I was talking to him before, and he said he hated the Mustang. He put a lot of time into the McLaren lately, and you'll see him actually driving the McLaren in the Open Series. And really, really likes that car moving forward, and he recognised he had to jump back to the Mustang for this one. Wasn't happy about it.
Yeah, you see all the gainers on the left-hand side. The first loser is down in Leaf and down in 15th. Benici there is in 5th, down 5 as well. Latella's down 12, and Kadai is also down 3 positions at the same time. They're the only changes inside the top 30. Everybody else has gained, and Rue is the only one where he is at the moment. Still dry, still no rain, still 27 degrees there as well. This might be a saving grace for Owen Coleman. I think you are right. But he's still a long way back at the moment, still down in 36th, and I believe he's still running. One lap down, I think he is at the moment.
Around 25 minutes. I'm just keeping an eye on what time it is in the sim at the moment. The reason why that's relevant is because we're going to be finishing this race up about, 6:45. So from 6:45 p.m. onwards, I was tracking we had a 5% chance of rain at the back end of the race. That's now nearly tripled, up to a 13% chance of rain. So there is a very, very strong chance that the last couple laps of the race might have spots of rain in it. But again, I'm saying we're not going to transition over to a wet tire. There'll just be splashes of water on the circuit. So that's worthwhile noting. That was our lap down cars clearing themselves. So they are now back on the lead lap. So that will be Owen Coleman, James Mason, Glenn Jones, Dale Atkins, and Brent Johnson.
Going to go one more.
Got back on the lead lap. Yeah.
Going to go one more lap here as well, but the pace car lights are still on. You see all the marbles on the outside of the final turn, as these guys are going to carry on and go that way as well. So lots taking place. You can see on your screen at the moment there is the calendar for the season. We have gone to Bathurst, Sebring, Monza, Nerbs, Mugello. We tried Spa, didn't work, and we're going to finish off the season here at Suzuka. So a lot still taking place as well. Much appreciated to Dash Off-Road for coming on board for this one as well. It's been a great pleasure, and PrintRacer.net and Sim Racing in Focus have all come on board and joined us for this one. And let's not forget Sudspeed at the same time. So a massive thanks for them for coming on here as well, and look forward to seeing them coming on board next season as well. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely amazing here once again. Ricky's in YouTube chat. No good boys as well. There's Scotty on the YouTube channel in his 2-2 as we're driving around on the safety car. That, if anybody doesn't know that,
the worst part is
that is hold on, Scotty, hold on. A reference to a bet that Scotty lost. Basically, if a Porsche does Porsche things, Scotty's got to wear a 2-2.
Oh, no. It was if I was driving the Porsche.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. He was driving the Porsche, and if Scotty goes round, he had to wear a 2-2. Well, guess what, boys and girls? Scotty went round in the Porsche, and there is the evidence.
And the worst part, I was in position to podium as well, outright podium. So I was frustrated with myself for a multitude of reasons. We called a phenomenal strategy, put ourselves in a great shot. The worst part is our producer for tonight works on a few series with me. I guarantee he's going to save that image. That is going to come up in my ongoing future. So JP, if I'd have done that and gotten the 2-2 out with you way earlier before Dean Biggles, and thanks to Dean for actually jumping in and actually doing the broadcasting here for us tonight, which actually saved us a little bit. But if I'd have jumped in and done that bet at the earliest possible opportunity, that picture wouldn't be saved by a producer to pull out for forever. So me failing to catch up on my bet until this point in time works in your favor, not mine.
To be fair though, Scotty, I would have saved the image and sent it to him. So
okay, all right.
Either way, I would have passed it over anyway. Who is out of position due to not stopping? Well, everybody stopped. So unfortunately, Piston, I can't tell you anything different. They've all stopped at the moment as well. Gainers, you can see on the left-hand side there at the same time, and on there, Scotty Bartain, of course, down in the safety car. I'm not quite sure why Lawson's not showing up in the elites at the moment. Maybe we'll have a look at that one while we're running under safety car here as well. But gainers and losers on the left-hand side, Alan, Jeffrey, Inwood, Dutch, Bottrell, Trott, Piper, Butler, Webber, all gained. Tucker, Chapman, all gained. And Saxons has gained as well. So safety car lights are off this time around, so they're going to be in this lap. So they will give Rue the lead here as well. What's Rue got to do on this one, Scotty? Is he going to be able to go early, do we think, or back him up into Castillo and run just on the exit?
I got to be honest, he can do either. His pace compared to Trent Allen's actually really, really strong. I was just having a quick look up and down the field. there was a couple cars sort of fuel saving. So I've got the first car that maybe fuel saving was Nick Bottrell. He only had a 41-second pit stop, and there was a train of 2 cars in behind him. So John Trott and Daniel Piper, both maybe fuel saving. So there's a couple guys with sort of shorter pit stops. And when I looked up and down the field, remember how we were talking about I would have taken a slightly smaller splash? Nobody's elected to do that one. I think this is actually fuel saving. Maybe Daniel Piper is about the only guy that's not added a full tank of fuel here. That's about it. Other than that, everyone else has taken quite long stops. So I would say the bulk of the people have filled the car, which surprised. I just thought somebody might have jumped down a line and done something a bit different as well. But yeah, they all pitted. And as for Roos starting, to be honest, he's got the pace. I think he's okay. So if he can just get his head down here and build a gap for himself, I think he can go whenever he feels comfortable.
I would be going now. I would have gone already. Safety cars in, out the way. I would have gone, backed him into Casio, and then ran. Now Roo is running. Here he goes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. He is on his way here, shooting down through.
Oh, Sean Benici's round.
Big problems here as the back. Sean Bonici's facing the wrong way. Not an ideal scenario for him, for Sean Bonici, but he has gone round. He's dropping all the way down the order. Still going down Sean at this moment in time, but you can see Roo escaped up the road. Jeremy Greentree in the fight here with Dan Piper. Not a class battle. He really doesn't need to do this if he doesn't want to, Scotty, at the moment for Jeremy Greentree, but he also doesn't want to get dragged in with Brad Tucker and Chapman.
Well, the thing is, he wants to get down the road. So every car that he can put in between himself and the car behind, provided he can get away from it. Now, this will be cold tyres versus hot tyres as well. We left him on, and just got a feeling there's a couple of cars. I think Bottrell might have left used tyres on. Suzuka tends to be quite aggressive on the tyre wear because you've got so many long loaded corners. Harry Imwell just had a huge mistake. That's going to let Andrew Dutch through, so he picks up and moves in a 4th spot. So the guy said he wasn't all that comfortable in the Mustang. He's not doing half bad.
Oh, somebody's in the wall. Somebody's in the wall, the hairpin. Brad Tucker, I think, is in the wall. He's gone round. He's sitting the wrong way. He has got no rear wing as well. He has gone and hit the wall side by side with Vinny Nguyen and Saxon at the moment. Saxon really needs to get onto the back of Coates. Is he going to try? He does. Is he going to try again? Oh no. He kind of pushes him out the way there and then loses the position again.
Well, the thing was, once you run in a little bit hot and spoon, it's very, very difficult to get the car back and arrested. And you can see that Vinny sort of went into the second half of spoon and committed to it. Now this is Trent Allen with a little bit of speed. So maybe that Mustang's just a little bit better on cold tyres at the moment.
Yeah. Bruce still tucked in. You can see Jeffrey's tucked in behind him in the Mercedes as well. He's going to have a nice run out if he can. Gets below that 2.5 temps. This is where the closure speed's going to come in. 2.3, 2.2, 2.1. Here we go. 2 seconds, 1/10 for the moment. Still can't get there. I think he's got to be within that 2 temp mark. Through turn 1 they go. Jeffrey now tucked up behind Allen. Allen dropped back from Roo. Was that Allen's opportunity to try and get over Roo, Scotty? Because otherwise he's going to leave himself chasing constantly.
I mean, yeah, if you can do everything to sort of get there and get the job done, again, particularly on cold tyres, Roo's just underdriving at a fraction. Now the tyres are sort of, I wouldn't say all the way up to temperature, but it's probably about half the way up to temperature. New tyre model, it's about third to fourth lap where the tyres are completely there. So actually getting them to come in is very, very difficult. And there's another issue for someone deeper in the field, Matt McCamley. And that's the second time that BMW's been in the barriers. Yeah,
McCamley's gone round again here. He does get it running at the same time. On board now with Nathaniel Coburn. He's got Hallen and Camo, Foster, Miller and Brooke Kadai tucked in right behind him as well. So a great job from these guys as they're continuing to fight this one out on board with Bobby Camo. He's moving all over the place to try and get Hallen at the moment. He's trying to get there as well. Miller just lost a place to Foster. Foster's just cleared him there as well. Not seen much of Mark Foster this season, Scotty, but he is sitting in that Corvette.
Yeah, doing a great job as well. And, well, the biggest thing for him at the moment is get his head down and do what he possibly can. Because right now, cold tyres, again, we've already talked about the fact that that Corvette's probably the worst car in the class. He's actually not doing too bad at all.
Excuse me.
Yep, so a little bit further up the field is Alfonso Latella at the moment, having a little bit of a crack at Jamie Saxon. Remember, Saxon was off at Spoonker a couple laps ago. Now Latella's going to try and apply the afterburners to him, but Saxon's still all over Vinny Nguyen. That battle, and again, these two are actually two of the guys who had a shorter pit stop between Nguyen and Saxon. So these were some of the guys who were trying to jump things, but they obviously matched each other. They're going to be just annoyed with each other for the rest of the race. By the look of that.
Yeah. I think they are going to be stuck. Excuse me, no apologies. I started coughing randomly. Saxon now goes up through the S's section in behind Nguyen. It's going to be these two stuck together almost like glue throughout this. You can see just in front, McClimate's trying to come back through on Coates as well. And you got Coleman, Whitman, Atkins, Jones, McCamley. Who else is involved in this? Johnson's in there, Mason's in there, Atkins is in there. This is for last place, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And these guys are still having a great little ding dong there as well. Dale Atkins in that one at the same time. Does look like Rue had some problems up front. I don't think he has. I think he was just going in through Degner there as well. I don't think he had any dramas. But these guys still fighting out. In through Degner 1 they go, in through Degner 2, in onto Phil Whiteman at the same time. John Trott battling away here. He's got Jeremy Greentree tucked in behind him. Is Greentree really going to look at making this move though, Scotty, being it's a separate class?
I mean, I think he is. And the main reason I'm going to say he is the fact that he's right there and he's applying pressure. And for me, that says he's got just a lick of pace. And whilst he's got that lick of pace, that may go away from him a little bit later on. He's got to try and take it whilst he's got it. And every single car... This is the thing about multi-class racing within the same category, and you see this all the time in terms of the GT Pros, GT Pro-Ams, multi-class GT racing, is you want the track position. At the end of the day, another safety car comes, well, there's 3 cars further down the road, 3 cars early getting the pit stop. If somebody else tries to undercut him and get a little bit less fuel in the car and get out ahead of him, he's protected. So yes, it is relevant. It's just be circumspect, because already we've seen guys racing each other too hard.
Yeah, Whiteman there, unfortunately, looks like, is that a Porsche doing Porsche things? No, he's been off. Oh, no, there's contact there. You can see going in here as well. Is he going to try and close that up here? Oh. Where do you stand on that one, Scotty?
Difficult, because I know one of the issues we've been having is, unfortunately for the McLaren, is that he's had issues every time we've had a restart. That car's been around a couple different times, unfortunately, so he's just desperately trying to keep himself in contention, and yeah, another mistake, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Saxon's still got Nguyen in front, Latella in front of that as well. Saxon still can't get over the fact that Brad Coates is in front of him, and the championship at the moment, Brad Coates is going to be winning by 56 points over Jamie Saxon at this moment in time. In the elites, Trent Allen is still far enough ahead. He'll finish on 1683 if the race stopped where he is now. And in the teams, Alt Revolution E-Racing out in front on 3619. So they still will be leading the championship and probably should be winning that championship as well, as we've lost Lawson altogether there as well. He is out. 25-second penalty for Leaf, a little harsh. 25-second penalty for car number 317. That's McClimate. We've got a 25-second penalty for car 956 as well. So who is 956? Whoever that is, he's got a 25-second penalty. That's Kurt Chapman. No, 956. Scotty, 956? Am I going blind here?
Dale Atkins.
Dale Atkins, yeah. Atkins has also got a penalty. So 10-second penalty for car number 54. We see that Stefan Mellis again. There's been a lot of points and a lot of people that have suffered here. Unfortunately, though, you can't help it, Greggy. You can't help it. The only thing, I suppose, for Leaf as well, Scotty, 2 seconds as well, giving him that 25-second penalty, that does give him a chance to finish behind Coleman.
Yeah, at the moment. So, at the moment, Alfonso Latella is going to try and get down the inside as we run up and through the exit there. The Dagners. And again, Vinny Nguyen's just the cork in the bottle. Saxon's got clear of him this time, though. Now he's going to try and put the afterburners on and see if he can't run away. And immediately, I tell you what, Saxon gets clear, and he is immediately starting to pull away a little bit. I think that track temp's starting to come down too, because remember, current sim time's 5:30 in the afternoon. So we are starting to lose a little bit of heat out of the air as that sun starts to go down. We're getting into the sunset, and Nguyen is looking vulnerable. Lost one spot in terms of on-track position, and then Alfonso Latella's crawling all over him.
It's all over the back of Vinny Nguyen as well. Yes, Greggy, I know. It just has the Leaf season's woes, and as Scotty said, yep, he did. Alfonso Latella. Here he goes now, tucked in behind Vinny Nguyen on the run down into the left-hander here as well of 130R. Is he going to be able to get through once again here, Vinny Nguyen and Latella? Is he going to dive up the inside of Casio? He is going to have a look. He's going to have a look. He's going to look, but that is about it. He has a look, Scotty, but no cigar there from Alfonso Latella this time.
Alfonso Latella would have been so close to picking up a cut track penalty there, because that chicane, he hopped a lot of it, but you actually don't gain much. The big thing for Latella is he's really, really quick in a straight line. Battle down into turn one as well. Matt Webber's trying to get there, show the nose at the moment. And Chapman will hold him off for a little while longer.
Yeah, Webber in with Chapman here as well. Matty Webber tucked in at the moment. Chapman in front of him in that Mustang. We've got Coates in behind him. And then we've got Leif McClimate in behind that as well. These guys are still going for it. Middleton Johnson as the BMW in behind a Glenn Jones. Sean Bonici's all in this one as well. It's a battle of the big boys when you look at the manufacturers. Jones's BM is like a boat. Middleton's car's like a boat as well, who just lets him through there. I'm not quite sure why, Jimmy, you felt like you had to move over before we get into the more sleeker Acuras and Mustangs in front of us. But you can see the BMW closing here as well. And battles taking place all the way through. Webber and Chapman still nose to tail as these guys are literally velcroed into Spoon. They go through the left hand. They're going to be coming up very, very shortly. Hard on the brakes. It's battle for 10th place at the moment. Matty Webber gets close, but no cigars. Scotty coming into an hour and 9 remaining.
Yeah. And have a look at the back end of this battle pack as well. Where's that Lamborghini got on its way back through to? So the issue for Leith McClimate, though, is that, remember, it's a 25-second time penalty to be out of post-race every time you see a safety car. So there's two options. I was just sort of discussing it with Greg Brooks in the chat. I said, honestly, I reckon he should have been issued a drive-through penalty. There's two ways you can go. Any time penalties you ever get, you actually can't clear them in the race. So as soon as you get a safety car, which is what's happened this time, the field gets condensed, and a 25-second penalty covers a lot more cars. Whereas if the field's allowed to spread, 25 seconds may only be a couple of spots towards the back end of the race if we run 2 hours of green flag racing. Drive-through penalty, you serve it immediately, you pop back out wherever you were, safety car happens, you catch back up again, then you can start picking the guys off after a safety car. So, yeah, I really think for Leith, like 25 seconds on the tin, when you have a look at everything else that's happened in the race, it's the harshest penalty that's been issued by far. Right penalty. Absolutely. It was sort of the minimum penalty you could give.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I have to agree with you. I think it was there as well. He did put Coleman Crab in. He put him all the way down the order. And now this is the only retribution for Coleman to have. If he gets 25 seconds, he's going to be 10 seconds back from Coleman as well for Leif McClimate.
Yeah, so I got to be honest, it's the right penalty. Remember, Coleman's got his way back onto the lead lap now as well. And he would have posted up somewhere around 34th spot after the restart. He's already up to 26th spot, and he's starting to pick off a couple guys. So he's got real pace at the moment to Zoe Coleman.
Yeah, absolutely flying along at the moment for Coleman. You see him down on the left-hand side there, 26th place at the moment. I think he's 15 seconds behind McClimate. So at the moment, Leafs will finish in behind him. Ben Jeffrey is there as well. Alan's tucked in right behind him. You see McClimate at the moment is 14 seconds back from the leader. You can see Coleman at the moment is 27. So 27 take 14 is only 13 seconds. So McClimate at the moment for 25 onto his time currently puts him 34 seconds back, would be all the way down in 29th, but near enough at Sean Benici, if not behind Benici as well. That is a big loss for Leaf. That is huge positions that he's going to lose.
Well, yeah, so the relevant point is the drive-through penalty, if he'd have copped it, well, the problem was I don't think race control actually reviewed the incident prior to the safety car. So the problem he had is that he would have still had to serve it post-safety car, so drive-through penalty would have dropped into dead last, which is about where he would have popped out anyway. But, you know, he can sort of, we get another safety car, he would have gained that back. So that's worthwhile pointing out. It's just a different way of however you want to try to apply the penalties. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just a different approach, basically.
Yeah, Hallinan, McMinimum, Coburn, Camo, Foster, Miller. The battle of the challengers is taking place further down. This is, of course, currently at the moment for 5th, 6th in class, all stuck behind Jeremy Greentree, who is leading the way with Chapman and Coates at the moment. Saxon, there's not a lot he can do at this moment in time in our challenges. He will lose the championship by 51 points, I think he's got at the moment from Coates. So it's going to be hard for him. But Bobby Camo in with Hallen and Foster still fighting it out here. In through Degner 1 they go. Are they all going to make it through cleanly? They do. No real dramas for anybody at this moment in time as they're continuing to fight it out here at the same time, Scotty. This challenger mid-pack, well, they're having a right little ding-dong.
Yeah, and it's all going on. And the biggest thing for these guys, they're all costing each other just a little bit of time at the same time as well, so it doesn't sort of get any better. And again, have a look at who's the cork in the bottle. Vinny Nguyen.
Yeah, absolutely. Vinny Nguyen there again at the front, sitting in 17th place overall. There he is, Vinny Nguyen in that Frogley Juice racing machine. He's ahead of Nathaniel Coburn. He's ahead of McMinimum, Hallen and Camo, Foster and Miller, with Kadai behind that and Harvey. But you can see now on your screens, Jeffrey's having a right little hard defend at this moment in time. He has got Dutchy playing games in behind him in the Mustang. Dutchy's going to dive out the inside of 1, is he? No. Who's got the more pace? Dutch in the Ford? Or is it going to be the Mercedes of Jeffrey?
So again, this comes down to what I've been doing in Dutch's case is just fuel save, fuel save, fuel save, fuel save, fuel save. Just a little bit of fuel save, not a huge deal. But if you do that across the duration of all of these stints, you're just going to go a little bit shorter in the fuel stop. If you don't cut out a full lap, remember a full lap around the Suzuka is 5.8k, or a fraction, if you're running peak pace, a fraction under 2 minutes worth of lap time. So you're never going to be able to save a full lap. It's very, very difficult to do so. What you're looking for is just to shorten that pit stop off. To give you the example, if we pop up those pit stop times on the side of the monitor again, keep an eye on these ones. If you have a look at these guys that are in and around here, have a look at these last pit stop. Ben Jeffrey, 22.8. Andrew Dutch, 23.0. So you flip that the other way around and go, well, all right, well, Dutch is now following. Have a look at the next pit stop in behind. Inwood, 21.5 seconds. He was 1.5 seconds quicker. So that is because he didn't save a full lap of fuel, but when they pulled up at their pit stop, he didn't have to fill the tank all the way back up to the full marker, and that was 1.5 seconds stop. You do that, if he's this close to this guy at the end of the stint, overtakes him.
I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this one all turns out as well, as these guys down in this Challenger class is still taking shape here at the moment. We're on board with Trot currently. He's got Bottrell alongside, they're having a little bit of a door bang. Oh, curb. He manages to hold on there. Trot, he's literally lost that place to Bottrell. Bottrell managed to get it back as well. Trot almost come at him on the inside of Casio there, Scotty. Couldn't quite make it up at the moment, but Nick Bottrell losing that place to Trot, and he's now going to be dropped back into the hands of Greentree.
And Bottrell, I think, had to lift a fraction earlier. If he'd have lifted a fraction earlier, give himself another shot down at Casio, and because he wanted to be aggressive with it, I think he actually denied himself another opportunity to go back on there. But, you know, play on. The thing for Trot now is a little bit of free air. Do something with it. You got the overtake done. Now you got to do something with it. But you can just see the difficulty in trying to get it done. if you just drive clean, consistent laps, you ain't going to get past unless somebody's got, 0.8 of a second. It's something stupid that you have to do to get in terms of overlap. But, that is the challenge of Suzuki. It just shreds tires. It is so intense on the steering wheel. And you got to throw it left, you got to throw it right, you got to trust the downforce that's on the car. Now look at Green Tree that's crawling all over Bottrell now.
I do wonder that this is one of them circuits that you need that flow. You need to keep the flow, because these corners, especially up through turn 1, leading up through the S's, coming into Degner 1 and 2, they come at you thick and fast, and coming.
Oh, you forced him into a mistake.
There you go. Green Tree's going to get the inside line now. There's a
lap car here. There's a lap car.
Oh, he's on the grass. Oh. Bottrell there must have literally put the pedal to the metal there, Scotty, to hang on to that position.
So that was Paul Whiteman that was the lap car there. He's trying to let these guys go. And all of that was caused. Green Tree just showed the nose to him heading into the hairpin, and Bottrell was watching him and not his braking markers. So he went in deep. So again, now that Green Tree knows that, he's shown the nose once. Now, this is where you harass. He hasn't got the outright pace to get the job done. But this is where a smart racing driver goes to work. You just pepper him. Maybe give him a flash of the headlights. Now remember, League has rules around flashing the headlights. So you don't want to do it excessively. You just want to flash it once. And then Bottrell's starting to think about, well, he's flashed the lights once. He's only allowed to do that once. But now Bottrell's thinking about the headlight press. And that's all it is. It's just take his concentration off the racetrack. Take it away from where he's putting the car. That's how you get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it coming into the final hour now as well? There is going to hear from the voice, which is very bizarre. There's
a voice in yours and I's head. Are you listening to the voices?
I thought I was going schizophrenic then, Scotty. I thought I was hearing it in my head. I literally sat here going, am I hearing that, or what is going on? I thought I was losing my marbles. Right, so there we go. Now I know I don't have 666 tattooed on my blinking top of my head here as well. Dutchy's still chasing down with Jeffrey. What was going on there?
Yeah, so an hour to go, by the way, is the big thing. We're coming up a couple seconds away from it. 5 seconds. We'll tick down to the final. We'll tick down inside the final hour of the season, and it's on for young and old. And again, just keep your eyes on Dutchy here. He's just pressing, right? And again, it's about pressing. And again, it's sort of when you get to this position, what we're talking about. So why do I mention harassing the guy in his mirror? And Ben Jeffrey's one of those guys who kind of can't harass. He doesn't watch his mirror, but Bottrell is. Bottrell's, I've seen that a number of times when I see him, is he watches his mirror a lot of times in a lot of different series, and it's not just GT3. He's got the pace, he's got the potential, but he pays attention to his mirror way too much. You can't do that to Ben Jeffrey. You can't harass him into a mistake anywhere near as easily. So it's about knowing your drivers. So that's what I'm saying to Dutchy. Now, when you get to this point in time, you go, all right, what can I do to get this guy? Number 1, lap speed. That's absolutely the biggest thing. Number 2 is look for a mistake. Be ready for a mistake. So until that mistake actually comes, it's very, very difficult. Number 3 is know your car. Now, have a look at how close he got to him off the eggs of the Casio triangle right there. Really, really good was the Mustang in the flickbacks. Both of these cars, front engine car. That Mercedes, though, is what they call a front mid-engine car. What that means is the engine is in the front of the race car, but it's behind the front axle. So you know how that Mercedes has a very long nose in it? It just looks that way. The cab's actually sat quite a long way back in the chassis. And it just looks that way. But the engine actually sits in behind that axle, and everything ahead of that's just the intake for the car.
Yeah, great explanation there from Scotty Bartain. Scotty Bartain, that was because I was reading.
I was going to say, do I get to drive a GT4? I'll go jump on the safety. I've got no problems with that.
That's because I was reading the timing. I was like, right, Scotty's down there, safety car's still in where it is at the moment. And then, of course, you started. Anyway, never mind. On that one, moving on. Green Tree pressurising Bottrell at the moment through Degner 1. Coming into Degner 2, the right-hander. Green Tree misses the apex a little bit. That's going to drop him back here as well. Just manages to hold on to it, coming into the hairpin currently at the moment. Here he goes, hard on the brakes. Bottrell makes it through. No real dramas. 1 second back to Piper. Butler in behind that as well. They're going to be getting into this fight, I'm sure, very, very shortly. 57 minutes. When are we expecting the next pit stop, Scotty?
Well, the biggest issue is we don't have fuel data yet. So what we do know is fuel saving wasn't on the cards. This pit stop was made right around the half-hour mark, so it'll be sometime, I reckon, in the next 5 minutes, because from my marking, they cannot get to the third race distance, which for me meant it was always going to be a three-stopper. The other problem with that is flip it on the flip side. Maybe there's a touch too much fuel. Maybe I'm guessing things wrong, and they actually, the reason they're not fuel saving is they don't need to fuel save. You still can fuel save though, because it shortens that last pit stop. So if we can get to the 40-minute marker, that's a McLaren that's off the road. That was Trott.
Yeah.
That was John Trott that was actually off the road. So if they can, expect them to go beyond the 50-minute marker here. It'll be right around the 50 to go when I'm talking markers.
But can they get to the end though?
No, you can't. It's a two-stopper from here.
Yeah. Well, let's see how long they've managed to hold on to this one for. Who's going to come out on top? Is anybody going to be able to get another stop in and get to the end? Are they all fuel saving at the moment? 27 degrees, still dry, still no chance of rain at the moment. We expect it, if it is going to come within the last sort of 15 minutes, we reckon. But don't hold us to that, because as we full well know, it can happen at any point and it can flip on ahead as quickly as possible. If you're fuel saving enough, you could potentially do a two-stop from where, well, I'm going to presume that's from where they are, Greg, at this moment in time as well. But lots of action still to come as well. On board with Jesse Butler in that Porsche at the moment. He's chasing down Dan Piper, who is sitting in third place, up 5 places as well, through Degner 1. Is he going to be able to get through? No, through Degner 2. He's got to carry more speed. He does hit that apex in that Porsche, rolling up to the hairpin now as well. But we're going to find out if they're going to be able to make this to the end. Who's fuel saved? What's the time? What's the pit stops? It's all about that, Scotty, to make sure there's no splash and dashes, I think.
Well, I mean, if there's got to be a splash and dash, you commit, right? You're not sitting on the fence. The worst possible thing you can do in terms of fuel saving race is sit on the fence. And the reason for that is you give up all the pace, and then you still have to make the pit stop, which means you basically lose. So you're slow, and then you're slow. Is the reason not to do that. So
let's have a look here with Leaf McClimate.
have a look at the AITT cars all in a row too.
Yeah. Oh, he just goes in deep. Yeah, goes.
So
in
he
deep
might be
onto
fuel
the
saving.
marbles there, and he allows that Mercedes of Latella to go through. Leaf could possibly, as Scotty just said there, has just fuel saved. It could be fuel saving on that one. It's going to be interesting, Scotty. I think this is where me and you, no matter how many guesses we get on what the strategy is going to be, we probably still ain't going to get it right.
I feel like Leaf is fuel saving, but it's not aggressively. I'm not hearing him big lift and coast anywhere. So, well, hey.
Oh, got his doggy. Having a good old bark in the background there as well. Not quite sure.
At the end of the day, if you do have to put yourself in Leith's shoes, if he does actually have to make an extra pit stop, well, that's going to be around 30 seconds anyway. So Leith would be, if he can chop a pit stop out, he'll finish exactly where he is on the road. But you know,
pit stops happening. Coleman's in pits. Foster's in pit lane as well. Dale Atkins, well, I can't really count Dale Atkins. Has been in pit lane for about 13 minutes. Does look like Nick Miller may have had some form of drama as well, but on board with Dutchy into Degner 2 as well. So we're going to have a look and see now as well. Sun's coming down. Scotty, what do we think? Is it going to be able to hit these drivers in the face? Will it sort of put them under pressure because the fact of being able to see?
Well, that's. I mean, there will be points where it is blindingly glaring on the track, but it looks like the points are sort of as you go through here. The lights sort of pointing back up the way, so maybe out of turn 2. There are things you can do to counteract that a little bit, but realistically, it is a big problem in the sim. And the thing for the drivers that are in VR is, remember, they move their head in around the cockpit as well. So if you're pointing your head, basically, you're trying to look through the corner, you sort of tilt your head down in a slightly different direction just to sort of see around it. So that's one of the issues that you can get. So basically, the sun is at the end of Spoon Curve, looking back at the track. So it's any time you're looking up towards Spoon Curve, which realistically is maybe off the hairpin, halfway through the hairpin, and off turn 1, turn 2. Those are about going to be the only spots you'll get that glare in your eyes.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye and see if anybody's going to struggle on board with that one. We go now with Dutchy on the run down the start-finish straight. Coming down into turn 1 here. It does look like he's not going to be close enough to Jeffrey. Is he going to lift and coast into turn number 1? Not really. Not really. Into 30 goes. Hooks it up. Gets the run out of turn number 1.
There's your sun. You see that? Right there. Right there.
Yeah.
So where do
You can
you
see
not
it there
want
as well.
up through the S's? Yeah. That's about probably the single worst spot on the track for you to get in the sun glare.
Yeah, well, we'll see if it affects any of these drivers as well. They've all done this before. I'm sure they're all sensible enough to know on that one. But yeah, great job from these guys at the moment as we're breaking into the last 52 minutes. There's been a couple of people with 2 pit stops. The front have still had 1 stop. Brooke Kadai, I believe, is the first of the runners that have had 2 stops. He's down in 22nd. Everybody else above that has had 1 stop. So it's going to be seeing what Brooke Kadai is going to be able to do here as well, Scotty, at the same time.
Do you know it's actually a really, really important milestone in terms of international racing history, but not the racing history you might think. Today, sorry, actually it was yesterday, my apologies, yesterday was the 35-year anniversary of the release of Days of Thunder.
Shut up.
No, yeah, legitimately. That movie is 35 years old.
How old were you when that came out then?
-2.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So I wasn't yet even a twinkle in my father's eye.
Oh my God. I won't even tell you what I was, but let's just put it this way. I was alive. I was in my teenage years, and I was almost near 20.
Most importantly, Days of Thunder 2 has just been announced as the workings for it. They're just starting to put it together. So look for that in the next couple of years. That's probably, I reckon, at least 2 years away yet, at least.
Oh my God. Well, 35 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, well, I'm not even going to go into detail. Scotty, you're just a youngling compared to me.
Just remember, JP, if you go to the outside, you can hold it.
Oh, well, yeah. You just got to punch it and hope you make it through at the same time as well. You can make it. You can make it. But don't forget, you got to go and hit the pace car because you've hit everything else this evening as well. So there we go. Tell I've watched the movie a few times here as well. And now I definitely feel loved the fact that Scotty wasn't even born when that movie was released.
Yeah. That might be... My girlfriend and I have been putting together lists of literature to actually go and witness, and Days of Thunder might go back on that list. I have seen it, but I think she needs an education. What do you think?
Such a good film, bro. That and Top Gun was amazing as well. When Tom Cruise was normal to a degree, there as well. Top Gun and Cocktail and all of his early films were probably the best one. Rain Man was another quality film he was in as well.
Ooh,
but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I can't believe that's 35 years old. Jesus Christ.
I can't believe that. That feels wrong.
Oh, dude, don't, even for me at my age as well. Mr. Lawson's all the way down the bottom of the order at this moment in time. It does look like he's showing out of the race as well. We may need to add him in on that one to see.
27th of June, 1990. There you go.
Oh my God.
It's legitimate.
Okay, so I wasn't quite in my teenage years. I was 12 when that film came out. Thanks. Wonderful. Oh my God. So there we go on that one. As Latella is still fighting it out with Coates, with McClimate, with Saxon. Saxon still in that one. And still great battling. Green Tree now in pit lane as well. So Green Tree into pit lane at the same time. Pit stops coming round about that 48-minute mark, Scotty. Can we get there? Can 65% fuel get us 48 minutes?
Well, 65% fuel. Okay, so that actually explains a lot of what I was hearing from the drivers earlier on, in that there was no fuel saving needed in that first stint. And the reason for it was that you could get past the 40-minute marker. So fuel window wasn't an issue on that metric. However, keep an eye on this battle because both of these guys are going long. None of the leaders have pit yet, and the reason they haven't pit is because there's no reason to pit. They actually want to maintain a little bit of track position. They're not in the middle of battle packs. For all the guys that are sort of in the mid pack, what's the reason to actually have a look at jumping in early? A little bit of fresh track. We've already talked about, how difficult it is to overtake. Well, if you can come out of the pits in a little bit of fresh air and there's no one around you and run your pace for a lap or two, you'll get the job done. So that's why you're starting to see a little bit of undercuts. The other thing it does say to a bunch of those guys is that they're not pitting, and then they might throw a full set of fuel at this stop. They might throw tires at it this stop, and then they'll take those sets of tires to the end of the race because it's the last pit stop's going to be a splash and dash. So what we're going to end up here is potentially guys that strapped on tires at the end of that first half hour into that safety car period, and they may run those tires at the end of the race and take 2 short pit stops to keep the weight out of the car. You do that, there is a good chance that you can look after the tire, but it will fall off a little bit in the later end of the race, and you'll be under a little bit of pressure. But up until that point, you will be very, very quick and get yourself some track position. What have we talked about a lot tonight? Track position is everything at Suzuka.
Yeah, agreed on that one. Well, we're going to find out what people are going to do here. There's a battle up in 10th at the moment, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. There's Webber, Coates, McClimate, Saxon. All in there. Leaders come into pit lane as well. Rue's in, Allen's in, Jeffrey's in, Dutchy's in, Bottrell's in. Who else is going to come in? Inwards carried on. What about Piper? Is he going to go in as well? Who's going to peel in out of this battle pack that's taking place on the road at the moment?
Oh, Brett Coates went on.
It's Jamie Saxon. Coates has gone on as well. Saxon's gone on. They're covering each other off. This is a battle for the challenger lead in the championship at the moment. You can see Coates, he's still out in front currently as well. He's on 1119, Saxon on 1073. So we're going to find out who goes on there as well. You see the elites on the left, challengers separated, Coates and Saxon not very far apart at all. Jeffrey's in pit lane, Dutchy's in pit lane, Heaney's in pit lane, Chapman, Bonici's in pit lane, Bobby Camo's in pit lane. It does look like we've lost Martin Hallinan though. Unfortunately, Hallinan looks like he's out at the moment, but this is a battle for that challenger lead, Scotty. And at the moment, Saxon's got to get over Coates. He's got to get ahead of Coates, and he might have to gain some more positions on the racetrack as well.
Well, the interesting thing between the pair of them is that they're both on the same strategy in terms of fuel. That was deep from Saxon. He went very, very deep in the second Degner and struggled to pull that car up because as soon as he got offline a little bit there, again, kitty litter came to play. So the tricky part for both of these guys is they have both been fuel saving from the start of the race. And again, I reckon when you have a look at pit stops, Brad Coates' pit stop wasn't the shortest, but what he was in that first pit stop was he was a second quicker than everyone ahead of him. So he was saving a touch of fuel. But if you have a look at Jamie Saxon, he was 0.4 of a second quicker than Brad Coates. So Saxon actually saved more fuel in that first stint than he did. So they're both in and around the same number. And the critical thing is, have a look at the timer, 45 minutes left on that clock. If you can run 45 minutes to the end, you are now in the window. I reckon Inwood's going to be in.
Well, keep an eye there as well. Inwood is in pit lane. Inwood is in there. He's just gone in at the same time. Piper's just gone in. Let's put Trott out in front. Has Trott carried on again here? And that's why he's there. But this is McClimate, Tucker, Webber. I think there's a back marker involved in this as well at the same time. So lots going on at the moment within this clock. Is that Hallinan in front of these guys?
Oh, there was an issue. There was an issue for Martin Hallinan on the entry to pit lane. A car ahead of him just stopped on the way into pit lane and he got stuck in the barriers. Basically, a whole bunch of cars have had to come in and the pit lane entry is basically been blocked because Martin Hallinan was boxing in the pit lane entry. So there was a huge incident on the way into pit lane. He's out of the server at the moment, I think, Martin Hallinan. I think he might be done for the day. Have a look at these guys fighting through 130R. Webber was covering off on the way in there, and McClimate's going to fire down the inside because I just think he has to. His cold tire pace in that Lamborghini is actually really strong.
That's 333
Might have hot
on
tires
the road in front here. That's Matt. That is Webber, actually. So this is for position. Latella now as well in with Webber. Webber's in front, going down into turn one. You can see Latella pulling out. Webber's questionably moving. And it'll be interesting to see if he calls that one in, Latella, because it kind of was a bit of a late woo from Webber going into the braking zone. But Webber, Latella at the moment has got Tucker tucked up behind him as well. The Ferrari of Brian Tucker, Mercedes of Latella, then the McLaren of Webber. These three still fighting it up through the S's. Greggy Brooks there, Saxon's over driving. Well, there's a battle up the road at the same time. That's Chapman, I believe, in with Saxon, in with McClimate. All of these people battling away. It's imperative for Saxon to stay ahead of McClimate at the moment, Scotty, due to the fact that McClimate's got penalty.
Well, Saxon's on cold tyres. So Leith McClimate will have a little bit of temperature here. He'll fire it in the inside when they get the hairpin, or trying around the outside. He's got warm tyres on, so he's got a ton more grip than Jamie Saxon has. He's got every opportunity. Oh, they're going to get turned in behind him as well.
Oh, that was Matty Webber. I think that was Webber's gone round. Pit lane, trots in pit lane. But Matty Webber's gone through. Alan's jumped Rue in the pit stop strike cycle as well. Rue on a 25.9. Alan on a 24.6. Scotty, is that less fuel for your Rue? Because he's not going to make it. As Latella gets a little bit closer to Saxon here. Saxon's going to go backwards at the same time.
That's cold versus hot tires. So Latella's on because he's pitted a couple laps ago, hotter tires. So even though Saxon had the overcut in terms of he's had to pay, he didn't have to pay his tire penalty. The other option is I don't think a couple of these guys necessarily took tires at the last pit stop, and that's why they're gaining now.
It's Trot coming out of pit lane. That's cold tires all day there, Scotty, for him.
Yep. That's a shame because he was, for me, the only car that was actually guaranteed to get home on the fuel. Everyone else is going to be touch and go, but can do it. He's the only car that went to the end of lap 36 on the fuel.
Well, we're going to find out if he's going to be where he's going to be here as well. Championship at the moment, Brad Coates 1119. Saxon 1063, so it's still going to be Coates. Alan 1683 ahead from Harry Inwood by literally nearly 413 points. Team standings, Revolution 3629 still out in front. That's how we're going to finish at this moment in time. You see McClimate there currently chasing down Chapman. Latella off his battle. Eva with Saxon. Mark Foster is just overtaking Jesse McMinimum. They've just gone past each other, and Mark Foster has gone through on Jesse, but everybody's starting to settle down a little bit here as well. Is this where we're going to find this F1 period, Scotty, where everybody has a sleep after eating their Sunday dinner?
Yeah, GT3 racing, you can at least get the elbows out a little bit. You can bang wheels and actually get away with it, so not necessarily. So don't forget the Austrian GP's firing up. I think that was for a while.
Yeah, we just had Ricky in YouTube chat. Car audio's a little low. Oh! He's just put green tree in the wall. Oh. Green tree in the wall. He's going to have to go down pit lane, Scotty. That was a big moment for Jeremy Greentree. Let's have a look back here.
I think Botchell's missed his braking marker heading in here.
Yeah. Bang. Clips him. He didn't even get the line right.
He was going to go for a late switch, but it was too late.
Yeah. Didn't even get the line right. Didn't get the car distance. Greentree pit lane down the order. Coates now leading challengers here as well. Brad Coates is still in front of Saxon. Saxon knows where he's got to be, but can he get there? That's going to be the question. McClimate in behind Chapman. Chapman has got Latella, a couple of cars back as well. These guys continuing to fight it out at the same time here. And let's see what goes on with Leaf McClimate. But that's got to be a penalty coming for Scotty Bottrell there.
Yeah, I don't see a way he gets away with that one. So, anyway.
Yeah, I don't see
Alfonso
it there
Latella penalty for up 35.
Yeah, Coleman now in behind Saxon. Coleman recovering, of course, up into 15th place at the moment after an incident with McClimate. Leaf's only a couple of spaces ahead. Unfortunately for Leaf at the moment, he's 25 seconds behind him. Is going to take him all the way down to 24th, maybe 23rd, if he can stay ahead of Mellis and Heaney. But other than that, at the moment in time, McClimate's headed down the order once this race is finished. Here, once again, in through Spoon we go. On board with Coleman now, is running after Saxon. He's trying to get over the top if he can. Saxon doesn't want him to. Saxon needs to get to Coates, and he's only got 38 minutes to go, but at the moment he's still too far back. 46 points, I believe. He is too far back. Coleman's going to dive up the inside. Is there going to be contact? Coleman makes it through. He gives Saxon room just in case. Coleman gets the rotation in that car and zooms away and takes that position away from Saxon. That's more points that Saxon's losing here to Coates at the moment, Scotty, and it's not looking good for Saxon at all.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. I don't know what's going on, but whether or not he didn't take tyres at that pit stop, but he was very slow on those outlaps, so he's definitely had to take tyres. You can't find any rhythm at the moment, so is what it is. But he's certainly got to try and get the head down and see what he can do.
Well, he's going to have to try it here. McClymon's still in behind Chapman, still trying to close in up through the S as they go, coming into Dunlop at the moment, avoiding the curb on the outside. All three cars do that. But McClymonds is tucked in. He needs to go and get some speed from somewhere if he can. He needs to show us what he's got in that Lamborghini and started off at the beginning like he did earlier on. Through Degner 2, closes in on Chapman. The problem is that Mustang has got some gruff. Has the Lambo got the gruff to go with it? 36 minutes remaining now, Scotty. How much further is McClymont going to get? What's the situation with fuel? Do we think any of them going to get to the end? It's all up in arms still.
Yeah, so John Trott, remember, pit at the end of lap 36, and I'm sure I'm going to get 58 laps here. So he's going to go 22 laps in terms of a tank of fuel. The problem for my mind is that stint was under a safety car, and he only got 21 laps out of that last stint worth of fuel for John Trott. So my money says no one in the field can do it.
Nobody at all.
Yeah, well, Trott was the only one that was close. He's the only car that got to the end of lap 36. So he's the only one that's potentially possible, and even for him, the number's too big.
Okay, well, we reckon there's going to be a second one here as well. So, guys, will they make it to the end, or is there a possibility of a splash and dash? Piper's in pit lane. If he pits now, he will make it to the end share as well. But anybody outside of this at this moment in time, we think is going to have to make a pit stop. Now, as I said, we're doing this on the fly. That's the situation. Rue's gone off track as well. Rue's off the circuit at the moment, dropping all the way down to 5th place. Up through the S's, he's going to go. That back end's going to come round. He's going to bump the curb. Is this going to be Rue down the order? You can see it just getting a bit of a snap. Oh, that is one of the most awkward spins, Scotty, that he's ever wanted to have for Rue.
Yeah, that was just slow and lazy. And the worst part was that you could see on the way into the corner, the rear end was already coming around and he was already trying to save it, and there was not more shit you could do.
Yeah, that's completely bonkers from Rue there. Unfortunately for him, it was one of them slow, awkward spins that you can't catch, but you end up going round regardless. It's pretty ridiculous here as well for him, but he's now going to try and get on to the back of Inwood again. Poor old Rue on that one has just ended that great run into the years after the race that was the race that never was, should we call it, in Spa. But Rue's now closing on to the back of Inwood, one of, if not the closest battle on the circuit. 34 minutes to go. When do we think the splash and dashes or the short pit stops are going to happen, Scotty?
Well, if you're in a battle and there's a hole that you can feed into, whenever. The big thing is that there isn't really much of a hole out on the racetrack at the moment, so maybe hanging around's not a bad idea. Rue's going to show the nose. Gets it done. So, and that's Harry just looking at things, and Harry looked at him and went, "You've actually been quicker than me all night. This one's really not worth fighting. Maybe I can save a little bit of fuel off of you," is what Harry was trying to say there.
Yeah, there's just no point. If Inwood isn't as quick, he might as well just let him go through and hope for the best, to be blatantly honest with you. I think it's bonkers there as well. You see the gravel all over the circuit up through Casio. There's quite a lot of it at the moment. Well, he is racing with an injury. He's done well by my reckoning. So there we go. The Lambo in the blue and white just looks so good to Trevor Naylor as well. So that Lamborghini, I believe, is Leaf McClymont's, I believe, as well. Hopefully the car audio is better for you as well. Let us know in YouTube chat if you are hearing it all fine, Mr. Ricky Provenzali, you fussy bugger. So there we go on that one. Didn't say nothing, Scotty. Didn't hear anything. Don't know what you're talking about.
No, yeah, so the point I'll make to Ricky is he might be a fussy bugger, but he's having issues with his PC. No further comments.
Maybe
not taking questions on that opinion.
Listen, dude, I can't say nothing about what he's having issues with PCs. I've had it over the last week. I've had to roll back drivers. I've had to blow and take my fans out. I've had to add more pace to the processor. It has just been an absolute nightmare this week for my PC. So
Don't
there we
say
go.
that. I'm a couple of weeks away from dropping $5 grand on a new PC. Don't say that,
please. Mate, to be fair, I don't get it either. This is the problem. You know,
Well,
I know
there's a lot
NVIDIA
of...
had some bad issues with drivers, the latest release and the release before that. I've had to roll back 2 just to try and keep my PC stable at the moment, which has just been absolutely nuts. But
it's
yeah,
not even
it's
that.
been a nightmare.
It's one of the big things I've actually been hearing about drivers is actually the new Intel chips and its BIOS drivers not being stable for them. So it's not even worthwhile. Pete Baxter actually had major issues the weekend of the iRacing Nürburgring 24-hour. Yeah, it's fun to try and drive around when you're on a team with him, but you know you manage those sorts of things, don't you? The big thing though is I think PC hardware wise, we're just in one of those periods where there's issues, and I think what I've seen is I've actually seen issues with 4000 series cards and the 5000 series cards just not being a stable platform.
Yeah. I have heard that the dramas about 5000 series as well at the moment as well. I'm on a 3070 at the moment, which is due to be upgraded as well. It's coming to the end of its 2-year lifespan. But at the moment, it's been absolutely nightmare as well. And this is the problem. And it's just one of them things, I think, from obviously me being in the UK, you guys being in Aussie, we're on an Aussie server. It's not making it easy either. Oh! Yeah, Bottrell off the side of the circuit there as well. I don't know, we'll have to have a look back. No, but not by the looks of it, Scotty. It was all on his own. All on his own.
He's hit the wall. He's done. He's done.
Oh. Into turn 1, bang into the wall. Off goes his bumper. Off goes the rear wing. Job done for Nicky Bottrell. He's definitely out of this race now as well. Live pictures pasted at Chapman Coast as well. So yeah, a couple of people struggling with incidents at the end, and we're only in the last 30 minutes.
So this will trigger pits for everyone. I tell you what. Remember how we were just saying you can't make 22 laps in a stint? John Trott's at risk of getting the race lead here. Actually, anything can happen here. Everyone will be in. The only driver that won't be in... Is that a car out of fuel? That's a car out of fuel.
2 people entered the pit lane. Matt McCamley. I think it's Matt McCamley.
Yeah, it is. He's already been hit. He's already been hit massively.
Who's the car behind him that's just gone and punted him up?
Ben Jeffrey. That's Ben Jeffrey.
Oh,
I think McCamley's out of fuel.
Jump to pit lane. Get authorization and go to pit lane quick. Jesus, get out of the way. Look at all that car. Oh, he's got here again. Come on, RC. Get him out of the way.
Has he had a screen freeze? I don't think the car's actually...
McCamley's now facing the wall. He's been hit again, I think. Oh, he now jumps back to pit lane, but he's probably been hit 2 or 3 times there. Allen still in front, Dutchy in second, Saxon in third, then Inwood, Rue, Weber.
I'm not seeing any fuel issues for McCamley there, so I actually cannot tell you what's going on.
McMinimum there as well. Piper, Coates, Trot.
I'm reasonably confident. Matt McCamley in the 16 car was just... I think he's just had a hardware fault.
This is McCamley going into pit lane now. Does he just randomly stop?
The engine, I think, is still switched on. Now, the BMW is exceptionally quiet. I will say it is a very, very difficult engine to hear. And I cannot tell you whether or not he has actually had a... Yeah. He actually has a hardware failure and drops out of the server very shortly after this. So I don't think this is a fuel issue. I think this is... Remember, we were just saying there's been a few instabilities in the current build. Well, I actually think this is another one of them.
I think so. It does look like McCamley's just sat there as it
There's,
gets hit again a couple of more times after that as well. This is really going to mix it up though, Scotty. Safety car in the final 27. This is really going to put the cat amongst the pigeons.
I'm just give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to see if I can pick up what happened to McCamley.
Yeah.
Because that's really odd.
Yeah, we're going to find out if we can see what happened to McCamley there. Still dry, still no percentage of precipitation, 26 degrees.
He's not out of fuel. McCamley was absolute. That's a hardware crash.
Yeah, poor Matty DC. He had a DC issue, so didn't know where he was. Well, there we go. That just about sums it up, to be blatantly honest with you, which is what we expected. Oh, dude, since the update, though, Scotty, this has just been a lot of people having a nightmare.
Yeah, it's medium to lower end stuff, isn't it? Interestingly, Jamie Saxon stayed out. So I'm just there's a couple of cars I'm just still gonna highlight in there. Saxon stayed out. Weber has stayed out. Vinnie Nguyen has stayed out. Jesse McMenamin stayed out. Daniel Piper came to the pits a couple laps after everybody else, so he's already cleared his final stop. Greentree's done his last stop, I believe. Yeah, in actual fact, we're losing laps out of this race. So anyone who would pit at the end of lap 35, I reckon might make it home.
Well, I think everybody that's going to be in and around this pit stop, to be honest with you, under safety cars, Scotty, I think these all could make it home. I think if anybody didn't dive in, I think they would just be off their nuts there. Similar to last race where Matt ploughed the leaders, just had no idea. Yeah, you are right. I think you're right, Greggy. But then again, McCamley stopped in pit lane. Matt took out 3 of the leaders. So, you know.
Is it the same driver with issues in both races, though? I think is what he's saying.
Was it McCamley who took the leaders out of Spa?
That's what I think.
I don't think it was McCamley who did that, was it? No, I don't think it was. That's going to drive me bonkers now. Greg, it wasn't McCamley. It wasn't. I don't think it was McCamley who did that. I don't know. I can't remember. I've slept since then, to be honest with you. 25 minutes will go. Pace car lights are still on. So we're going to have one and one more once again. So we're going to have one and one more.
I'm going to have chats with our producer about using my likeness, I think.
If
they need to license it from me moving forwards.
I think so. I think there should be a surcharge on the fact that Scotty's in a 2-2 doing this broadcast. If you haven't seen this before, this is Scotty losing a bet, and this is him sitting in a 2-2. So there we go. Thank you so much for that one. Carrick, wasn't it? Yeah, I think so. There's Scotty, just in case.
By the way, that 2-2 was exceptionally hot. I had to take that off. I was getting overheating wearing that.
Blaming the 2-2 for getting hot. Oh, dude.
There's no airflow in the room that I'm sitting in. The PC's on, so with all the cars in there, I was just
sweating out in my room at the moment. I can tell you that much.
What are you Brits complaining about? It doesn't get hot over there.
Okay. Cheers for that, Benji, but I'm not entirely sure what you expect me to do from here. So, there we go. Not a lot I can do on that one. No, it's not you. It's not you. Don't worry about it. I will...
Oh no, so there's a couple of cars at the tail end of the field can be circling back through for another pit stop. Remember, that Spottrell, well, he was at the tail end of the field. Remember, he had a tow, so he would have turned everything off if he had a tow, raced around, made sure he stayed on the lead lap, and then come back in, make sure that he's good to go to the other race. So he's managed to tag back on the back end of the lead lap.
All right. Yeah. So pace car is going to be carrying on.
Tell you what,
Yeah, you can select the pace car there as well. So great job there from Scotty, driving the car quite happily. So, and Scotty obviously being in the pace car series, is the pace car in this series. So there we go. On that one, 22 minutes to go. Give you an update on the leaderboards at the moment. Saxon is now, just to let you know, ahead of Coates. Saxon is ahead of Coates in the championship. So we'll have to see if Coates or Saxon will stay there. So that's flipped on its head. Challengers, Trent Allen still out in front by 413 points, and Revolutionary Racing still out in front in the teams. But it is the challengers at the moment, with Jamie Saxon on 11.93. If it ended now, Brad Coates on 11.09. So Coates has got to get a bit of a wriggle on here, Scotty. Otherwise, he's going to lose this championship.
Yeah. And the thing for Coates, we knew this one in the challenger class was going to come down to this final dash. But the big thing is, remember that Jamie Saxon, we're not confident. We think he can make it in the other race. He's got some fuel saving to do. The margin between those two guys in terms of the points, though, is exceptionally close.
Yeah, we are up and running, Scotty. Hold on 2 seconds going into turn one. There's Webber.
Oh,
oh, is he going to hold it?
Save it.
Save it. He did. But he did lose places there. There was a little bit of contact at the same time. He's gone all the way back down. He's going to be just ahead. There's the Murkoff as well. And he's turned again. Oh, there's a couple of people who got turned on that one. Yeah, Latella off, Webber off. I don't know if Latella lost it on his own or there was contact there at the moment, but Saxon and Inwood are literally having a battle up the further up the field as well. You can see them, Saxon there side by side, almost at this moment in time. Inwood in that Mercedes, Saxon in the Acura, Ruse in the mix at the same time. Ruse going to bump him down. If he can get him down a little bit, this could be very, very interesting for Coates. Ruse looking outside. He gets room. Rue is on a mission. He is on a fight. He's got his elbows out. He's got his mum in the back. She's chucking all the utensils out the window at the driver in front. See if she can hit him. Get him out the way, Cher. Get him. And she's starting in the car at the moment, shouting her head off at Rue. Rue is coming.
We've got two cars off the circuit. 265s off, which is Jeremy Greentree. Remember, he's had a great run thus far tonight. He was caught in that huge accident through the S's. And unfortunately, the rear end of Leith's Lamborghini's gone around again. So Leith will be done for the day.
Hector 2, he's going to go straight in the wall. He's too fast going in. Leith gets hit. Oh, we get hit again from Greentree. And Leith just sat there. Nowhere for him to go at the same time. 19 minutes. Somebody's off the circuit.
Was that Rue?
No, it was a Mercedes.
That was Inwood.
Yeah. I think it was a Mercedes. It is. Yeah, I think Inwood's going to get a slow down here as well. And he's now got Saxon in behind him. Vinnie Nguyen climbing onto the back of Saxon at the same time. Ruse sitting in P3, 1.8 seconds back from the leader, or from Dutchy, who's literally 2/10, so he's 2 seconds back at the moment. These two Mustangs at the front of the field, Rue tucked in at the moment. We are going to get spicy for 19 minutes here, Scotty. I fear it's going to be hotter than a Vindaloo in a curry house, and I don't like the repercussions of a Vindaloo in the morning.
No, they're all going to have to pay the toilet fine, unfortunately. And again, have a look at the guys that are corking in this packed bottle. It's Saxon and Nguyen who are going to go side by side again.
Yeah, Piper's there as well. Piper's fighting out at the same time as Butler. And Butler's in that Porsche. Vinnie Nguyen's just got through. McMiniman, Piper, Trott and Coates.
It's going to get ugly.
Coates has got to gain positions. He's got to gain positions. This is Trott now as well. Coates, you've got to go, son. Don't sit back. Look at them. Go. Get on with it, because you need to move up at the moment. You are literally 40 points, give or take, back at the moment from Saxon. He's got to try and jump Trott, Piper, if he can get McMiniman as well. It is all about Coates here. It is all about Coates. He's got to try and move his way forward, otherwise that challenger title's going to Jamie Saxon. but it's going to be fast action flowing for the next 17 minutes here, Scotty. Who's going to be able to deal with this situation?
Yeah, Saxon's going to be under a fair bit of pressure. I think the issue, I think at the moment is Saxon is going to need to save fuel. That's his biggest issue right now, is he's got to save fuel. He's got 8, I reckon he's got 9 laps left to go. So he's in a little bit of a hole in terms of where they are in terms of the fuel. So
just Trot.
Daniel Piper's run wide.
Piper's run off the side of the circuit there as well. Unfortunately for him at the moment, he's running all the way down. Got to get that car back on track. He's going to lose places all the way to Heaney. Did Piper do this on his own? Oh, there was a spin. Oh, there was another one. Oh, no. Oh, well, that was held for both of them. And Piper goes and runs it off the race. I don't know why he didn't hit the brake and go around the service road there.
That happened right in front of Brad Coates, by the way. Brad Coates was in that car behind them.
Yeah, Coates now moves up. There is literally 24 points between Saxon and Coates at the moment. Coates has got to get another position. He's got to try and get another position here. Rue's in behind Dutchy as well. He's moving forward at the moment there. But you can see Butler tucked in behind Newham, McMiniman, Trot, then Coates, who's got to get Trot if he can. And he's got to rely on something going on with Saxon, a little bit wide by that Porsche Butler. He's lost a little bit of time. Rue is now 3 tenths back, 2 tenths back. He's coming up like an absolute banshee here. Can Rue still win this, Scotty? Is he still in with an opportunity to win this one?
Everything's still on the table here, and Dutchy's just taken. I wonder whether or not Dutch needs to save some fuel.
You reckon that's the issue?
And the other thing is Coleman's catching up onto the battle pack that's got Brad Coates in it. All Coates will want to be doing is focusing on escaping down the road. And he's going to be looking in the rearview mirror, and he can't afford to lose any spots at the moment at the track.
Brad Coates now cannot go. He can't lose that position, Chapman. He has to go forward, Coates. It is imperative he goes forward. He either needs him forward or Saxon down. And at the moment, Saxon has got Newham in and around him. There's a little bit of send there from Coleman. Coleman in behind him at the moment. I don't really know what's the best opportunity for Coates. He needs to go forward, but unfortunately he's looking like he's going to go backwards here. He cuts the nose off Coleman going into the braking zone. Coleman's surely got to look at a different option. Is he going to go and send it out the inside? This is going to be even worse. Oh, Coates goes in. Coleman goes through, and Coates drops down another position.
Well, so there's a couple points to watch out for at the moment. Is that Jamie Saxon and Vinnie Newman are on their 12th lap on that fuel tank. Now remember, we said last safety car period, the maximum they could go was 21. We're seeing about 20 laps for most of the drivers in there. I reckon they need to get to 19 on that fuel tank. There is a chance that they can make it. I still think there's some fuel saving to go, which doesn't necessarily mean that Saxon's home and hosed just yet. If he has to pit, it's over. Coates will win it. But the problem for Coates is he's locked in this huge battle pack. He's got to be on the offense. He's got to just have keep it on a crack. He cannot lose any more spots than where he's at, because right now he's losing it. If all of a sudden Jamie Saxon has to flip over and he has to save bulk amounts of fuel, Saxon will be dropping places. So that will bring them close together in terms of the points metrics. And there's nothing more that you can sort of say. All we can do is watch and wait for the last 5 minutes. Don't forget, rain is just around the corner as well.
Is it still coming though, Scotty?
6:45 was previously a 13% chance of rain. That has now dropped to 0. So I think we might be okay. I think it's just going to miss us. We basically, the race will end and the rain will hit as soon as the race ends. Now is what we're looking at.
Okay, well, we're going to keep an eye out when it's going to be coming, but we're not quite sure when it's going to be coming here either. 10-second penalty for car 333 at the same time. Jesse Butler now with McMiniman in behind him. This is going to carry on. Butler there under pressure. Vinnie Newman still trying to get onto the back of Saxon. Saxon's up the road a little bit there. Butler fakes it out. Is he going to try and go up the side of Newman? Oh, they're going to be door banging side by side. Newman still manages to keep that position away. In through the S's a go. Vinnie Nguyen, this is saving Saxon here, Scotty, because I can tell you what, if these guys get onto the back of him, that could be 2 places lost.
We'll see Nguyen's in the same exact scenario that Saxon's in. He's literally identical. They both stopped for the same amount of pit time. The most recent stop, they both pitted on the exact same lap. So if Butler gets through here, he's through. But you've also got to remember, I reckon they're both still fuel saving just ahead of him.
Well,
and
let's keep
the other thing from Jesse Butler's perspective is, these guys, if he's trying to push Vinnie Nguyen off that fuel number, and if he cruises on up to Jamie Saxon and starts applying the same amount of pressure to Jamie Saxon, well, that all works back in Brad Coates' number, because you want to save fuel, right? But the problem is, if you've got somebody right on you, you kind of have to hang on to that spot because of how important it is to the points. So then you have to drive harder, which means you can't drive to that fuel number. So the longer that Butler spends on Nguyen, the better that is for Saxon.
Agreed. I agree. I think it's going to be an interesting one here. Saxon may just have got a saving grace with Butler having a battle with Nguyen. Foster and Benici fighting out further down. He's got Heaney in and around him. They're all stuck behind Coates at the moment. There they are coming in the background here as well. So some great action still taking place. Coates cannot afford to lose these positions. You can't afford to do it, son. You got to go defend, defend, defend. Foz there as well. Got a little bit of an elbow check once again. Butler stuck out the hips and gave his bunda a bit of a shake and hit Foster in the side of the car. Now they're going to be moving down this start-finish line. Where's Coates going to go? He's got to go over to the left-hand side. He's got to try and block him off here. He doesn't want him to get that run down into turn 1. Don't leave it late. Foz is tucked in behind him. Still not going to be able to make it through turn 1 at the moment. You can see in behind Foz is Sean Benici. He's had his fair shares of dramas tonight. Scotty as well.
Yeah. So, it's all in. These guys have been squabbling. We're actually starting to drop a few drivers off like flies. Brock Cat-Eyes just exited the race. He's done. Again, this is all Coates is locked in. He cannot afford to lose any more spots, because if Saxon's going to run out of fuel on the last lap and he only drops 1 or 2 spots, he still gets it done. So this is actually critical to the championship. By the way, margin to Saxon from Vinnie Nguyen starting to close up. Nguyen sort of responded a little bit in terms of pace, and Butler sort of lost out a little bit now. So that little squabble between the two of them, they drop back off of those guys. But now they're starting to catch back up. Jason McMenamin having issues. Yeah,
I think he's just lost a place to trot there as well. JB, have you seen someone run out of fuel on the last lap? Yeah, we've seen it here, Scotty, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, Gretchen. The other thing is, I was going to say Adrian Gretsch. How many times in a row did he run out of fuel? It's like 4 in a row or something.
Yeah, so, being about 5 meters away from the start-finish line for Gretsch there, unfortunately. So yeah, we have seen it hit. Rue now closing into the back of Allen. If Allen's got a fuel save, he will. Well, I don't know really what he's going to do, but Rue, I don't think either of these have got a fuel save. I think it's just a mad manic dash to the end now. 9.5 minutes to go here. Rue tucked in behind Allen. Rue has had great pace this afternoon, or this evening for you guys, obviously. But I wouldn't be surprised if he managed to hold on to this and take the win, to be honest.
Don't forget, it's 10 p.m. local time, so if guys are going to start make issues, make mistakes because of the fatigue factor, well, it starts to crawl in the later we get. So these guys are starting to push on.
Yeah, Coates is under pressure again, but Foz is on the outside. He's got to hold this. Brad, you've just got to send it deep on him and hope he gives you room, mate, without doing anything drama. Yeah, he did lose that position. That's him now 44 points behind Saxon.
I just wonder for Brad Coates how long he's had those tyres on. I reckon they're starting to, because he was quicker than this earlier. Something snapped in that car, and the pace has just switched off on it. Oh, Benici, that's not a send. I reckon Coates' tyres has just switched off, boys.
Scott Heaney tucked in right behind him here in through Degner 1. He's dropping down the order, unfortunately, down through the right-hander. He goes into Degner 2. And that is poor old Coates going backwards here. He can't afford to go in pit lane. No, Scotty, if he goes in pit lane, he's going to be in even more trouble. But for him at the moment, he is losing this by 44 points from Jamie Saxon. the question is as well, says Greg Brooks, does Saxon have to pit again?
Well, that's all we're sort of watching and waiting on. Oh, Saxon's off the road. Saxon just ran off the road out of Spoon. He's going to lose a bunch of time. You know what? Newen might get by him here.
Saxon off. Saxon's off. He did manage to hold on to the position. He did manage to hold on. Newen's
going to have a go at him. He's absolutely going to have a crack at him here.
Vinny Newen going to try and get up the inside. Is he? No. Butler's still sat in there. If Butler could clear these guys, I think he would be on his bike a little bit. But Saxon, making a mistake at Spoon, brought everybody right into him. That comfortable position has now just gone and finished, Scotty.
He went real wide. So he ran off and over the curbing at the exit of the Spoon curve and come back on the track. So he had a significant margin back to Vinny Newen. He was about a second and a half back to Vinny Newen. And again, those tyres on that McLaren of Brad Coates just look second hand, don't they? He's missed a trick with taking tyres at some point.
Heaney has gone through as well. So Coates is down another position. I'll give the minute for the scores to update, and I'll be able to bring you up to date scores here. But Butler in behind Newen in behind Saxon. It's all very, very close as well. On we go with Trott, who's just following the three of them here, trying to see what's going to happen. In through Degner 1 they go. Nightfalls are coming. 6.5 minutes to go of this race. It's going to be about another 2.5, 3 laps maybe at the most here.
I'll tell you what,
if we can get this.
This comes down to if we get 55 or 56 laps. If we get 56 laps, Saxon will have to pit. I don't see him getting to lap 56. If we only get 55 laps in this, and by the way, this is super tight on fuel, then yeah, that's what it comes down to. I gotta be honest, it's mega tight at the moment, just based upon the leader's pace. We're only going to get another 3 laps, which means we get to 55.
Rue is literally in behind Alan. Literally, there is 2 cars on that screen. There's Rue poking his idlers out. Now he's going to look at going up the inside.
No.
Rue managed to hold on to it. Coming into Casio, Rue is all over the back of Alan. He's going to want that side-by-side Casio. Now he's going to try a cut back on him. Get the power down if he can in that Acura. He just can't get there at the moment. Alan's holding on. Rue's losing 10.
Butler's just got in the inside.
Butler has just got in the inside of Vinny Newen. He's going to make it through. Now, if Butler could get Saxon, well, this is going to put it all into a different perspective at the moment here. But it's going to be a fight on his hands for Brad Coates. But at the moment, Rue tucked in 5 minutes 15 on the clock here, Scotty. Last lap was 2 minutes for Alan, 2 minutes for Rue. That effectively gives us 3 more laps.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to get 55, and I reckon these guys are filled for 55. They cannot get onto that 56 lap. So, yeah, and Saxon's car does not look anywhere near as good as the Porsche of Jesse Butler. And I tell you what, John Trott looks a mite quicker than Vinny Newen at this point in time as well. So I reckon Newen's going to get clipped by John Trott, but the problem will be, does Trott have enough time to get by Jamie Saxon? That is how close it is for the championship. If those 2 overtakes happen and Brad Coates finishes where he is, I reckon Coates needs to gain 1 spot and Saxon's going to lose 2. That will decide the championship, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Give or take. He's now 54 points ahead of Saxon at the moment after this little swap around. Stroll is just gone and absolutely sent it up the inside there of Vinny Newen. Newen was holding him up. We've done this a lot of times throughout this race with Vinny Newen there, Scotty. He literally just held people up, and now Trott said, nope, I've had enough of this. I'm on my
Saxon's
bike.
weak.
Saxon is now, looks like he's had a tyre drop off as well. Butler's going to close in on that Porsche. Is he going to bring Trott with him? Is he going to bring Newen with him? And is this Saxon's championship? Could it be slipping away in the last couple of laps?
So that top 3 is still fighting for it as well. And Bustle is going to show the nose on Jamie Saxon. Here it is. This matters. This is relevant to the championship fight. I think Brad Coates might have just lost another spot as well, which will be relevant to everything that's going on. Down to Casio one more time. Butler's really strong off the exit here, though. He's really strong into turn 1. So keep your eyes out for the overtake. He can't get the drive, though. That buys 1 more lap. There's going to be 2 more laps when they get back through the start-finish line, and here it comes. Trott's starting to close in. I don't know that Jesse Butler knows what role he's about to play in this championship, you know? Because the problem is, if he has to block this lap, JP, from Trott behind him, then he's not going to be attacking Saxon. And that is going to be a big key to this fight.
Yeah, agreed there as well. If I was him, I wouldn't even be looking at Trot. I'd be getting on my bike, just trying to get a hold of Saxon.
Trot's
at the
got
moment.
so much speed.
Trot is very, very quick, though, at this moment in time. At this one. On that, Trot's looking up the inside. You can see the grip difference. Trot's going to try and go around the outside of Dunlop. He's not. He's going to look at getting the cut back underneath him at the moment, running down into Degner 1. We're on board with Trot. You just see Butler on the outside there. If I was Butler, I'm almost inclined to say, okay, have a go. I'll get him when you send him backwards, because at the moment, John Trot is absolutely flying. He's going to try and go.
Oh, no! No! I reckon that's bent the left rear corner of that Porsche, and that's going to decide it for the pair of them.
I reckon that was also Jesse Butler maybe moving in the braking zone to try and cover that off.
I don't think he did. No. He dropped to the left off the corner and he broke in a straight line. It's just that there was no hole there for Trot, and he thought he was going to get shown a hole like he was last time.
Oh, Bruce round. Bruce off right at the end. Bruce off. I think he's had a go with Allen.
That's Saxon.
Saxon's go through. Oh, Moro Roo. Have a look on the Andrew Dutch past Roo Koistra. You might be able to find it back from there, sir, as well. But Butler now in behind Roo. Roo's got us. Get Saxon back. Here we go. Click on Roo. You might just see him on the exit. There he is. Oh, he's hit the curb. Oh, he's going to come. Yeah, all on his own from Roo. But he bumps the wall as well. Butler is now gone past Roo as well. Trot's going to try and have a go, but this is working out for Saxon at the moment. I didn't see it. Where is Trent Allen on this racetrack? How far up the road is Allen?
Give me 2 seconds. I'll be able to tell you.
He's in Degner 1 and 2. This could be a very close lap here for Trent Allen. He did.
This is the last lap. So this is the last lap. I've just gone back and checked it. Yeah. So that means that's lap 55, which for me says that Saxon should make it on fuel.
Yeah, does look like Saxon's going to make it. He's going to hold on as well. Jamie Saxon is going to take the championship if he can just keep it going for this one final lap. Trot's there. Butler's hit him again. Trot did make it through. Butler's bumper came and saw and went and came back again because he didn't like it. It was a bit lonely.
Well, hang on. John Trot's just called his incidents with Jesse Butler in, and Butler never called Trot's in.
Yeah.
So that's Butler never said boo about his whack in the rear from John Trot.
Allen now is going to be coming down into the final couple of corners. He's not got long left. He's just got to make it through Casio, and the race win is going to be his. The time is down. We're on finish. We are done, dusted. Once again, Trent Allen not only takes the win in the final round of the championship, he also takes the championship. And he also wraps it up for Revolution E-Racing in the teams. Trent Allen is your champion. He is your champion here in the Premier Endurance Racing League GT3s. Jamie Saxon comes over the line. He's going to wrap up the challengers. Saxon's going to take the win in the end by 74 points. 74 points for Jamie Saxon. That was completely unexpected over Brad Coates there as well. And poor old Brad's going to have to try and come back next season and have another go.
Well, I tell you what, Jamie Saxon did have more than enough fuel because he's down in turn 1 doing burnouts.
There you go.
Gee whiz.
Doing a good job for Jamie Saxon. Round he goes. Stefan Mellis in there. Whiteman, and there you go. The smoke's puffing up here from these guys down in turn 1. Great job from all of them. Stunning run from all of these guys. Just waiting for Mellis and Whiteman to finish. Mellis is basically about halfway around the circuit, I think, because he was just in front of the leaders as they come over the line. Me personally, I might have slowed down and let them go through, to be honest with you, Scotty, so I didn't have to do that extra lap. I don't know. maybe Trent hasn't got enough fuel there, Scotty, to do the burnouts.
Whiz, JP. That came down to a spicy race after that final safety car. That fell in just an awkward window.
Yeah.
The tricky thing is, John Trott actually made a mistake in his pit stop. I reckon John Trott took tyres at that final pit stop, and he didn't need to.
Yeah.
And he should have. I reckon he should have finished on the podium, because remember, he would have been the one guy who we were saying is likely to make it.
Is it a missed opportunity then for Trott, do you think?
Yeah, I think John Trott should have actually finished on the podium, if not won that one. And very, very importantly, is the biggest thing that's worthwhile noting is that Jimmy Middleton, yet again, beats Rick Provenzale.
Yeah, but Ricky disconnected though, so
yeah, mate, having a PC failure is counted as beating him.
I suppose it still does. Trent Allen taking the win in the main championship here as well. Are the results up and running? Who are we waiting to finish? Who has not crossed the line? Let's have a look on the time.
We're waiting on Stefan Ellis was the last car. I don't think he's actually made it.
I don't know if Stefan's gone on to make it. Yeah. Somebody give Stefan a bump. As Trent Allen does his donuts there as well.
I'm showing actually everyone should have crossed the finish line by now.
Yeah, the results are in. Results are in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's the final result of this season. There you go. Trent Allen is your winner overall, your winner in the elites this season as well. And he will be finishing on 1,713 points, a whopping something ahead of Harry Inwood, who's on 1,320, so almost 400, so 393, I think, back ahead of Harry Inwood. But Dutchy takes second, Inwood grabbed third. Jamie Saxon wraps up the Challenger class points as well. He's 74 but ahead of Brad Coates. So that's your two winners in the top four. Then Rue, then Trott, then Butler, McMinimum, Kurt Chapman, Owen Coleman, Mark Foster, Sean Bonici, Vinian Nguyen, Greg Heaney, Brad Coates, Dan Piper, Alfonso Latella, Nicky Bottrell. Then we got Nathan Coburn, Mark Webber, Matty Webber, sorry, not Mark Webber. Stephen Mellis, Matt McCamley, Glenn Jones, Phil Whiteman, Jeremy Greenteary, Bart Tucker, Brant Johnson, and Leif McClimate, of course. Then we've got Bobby Camo, Ben Jeffrey, Brooke Cuddai, James Mason, Jimmy Middleton, Martin Hallinan, and Nick Miller, with Dale Atkins and Ricky Provenzale out as well, and obviously Scotty being the pace car driver again. We have got interviews all lined up, ready to go for you there, Scotty, as you can have a chat with Mr. Andrew Dutch.
Ladies and gentlemen, bringing home a man who said to me about 2.5 hours ago, "Gio, don't like this Mustang. It's nothing like that damn McLaren." Mate, all I kept looking at was you continuing to pick people off as it went along throughout the night. And, mate,
I knew that was coming.
You did a great Owen Coleman impersonation. I won't repeat what was said because it's not safe for media.
Yeah, poor old Ronnie had a rough race. First of all, Jimmy wants to know who finished ahead of between him and Rick.
Remember, all results are provisional, so he might get penalised 20 laps or something. And so, gee whiz, mate, that one was not easy. I mean, qualifying for you did not necessarily go the way that you wanted it to, and you walked away from the sim a little bit through qualifying, didn't manage to improve. 10th on the grid, had to cut way through traffic nice and early, and safety cars at awkward times twice throughout the race. Walk us through at least the start.
Yeah, like you said, I really didn't have good qualifying at all. I was on a hot lap and I got balked. I can't remember who it was. And then just ended up giving it away. Thought I'll go for a toilet break, refill the water bottle, come back to it, and just the start for me was just trying to be cautious. I was sitting, I think, third in the championship overall, so I just wanted to purely stay out of trouble. Obviously, nurse the cold tyres around, get into a groove, but then yeah, like you said, safety cars happen and you kind of fall out of that groove and you got to restart it all. You know, cars going left, right, and centre in stages. A lot of gravel on the track, so made it a bit awkward. But yeah, I was just trying to run a safe race, to be honest, mate.
In terms of the way that the tyres actually worked out, man, that didn't look like an interest. That did sort of challenge things as well. For me, just the way that the tyres sort of fell off for a few drivers right at the back end there, so that you needed to take tyres basically at every pit stop.
Yeah, well, I took tyres, I think it was on my last pit stop, and I thought, well, I've got to see these through now because I've got a short fuel stop coming up, so I'm not going to be able to take tyres. So I did notice in the last probably 15 odd minutes, the rear end of the Mustang started getting a little bit squirrely. So yeah, I was just trying to manage a safe gap. That's why I let Rue go through. I knew Rue had the pace, so I just wasn't going to fight it. And I thought if I could stick in Rue's toe, that'll keep me ahead of Harry, I think it was. So yeah, a little bit sketchy at the end there. A few little bobbles, I'll say. But yeah, at the end of the day, they ended up bringing me home.
Mate, in terms of things, shelling the Mustang, it's just getting ditched, I believe, at the back end. As soon as this season's over, you're transitioning over to that McLaren. Particularly, we're heading into the 24 hours of Spa here in a couple of weeks, and you just sounded like you were very, very happy with the way that thing drove.
Very happy with the McLaren. It obviously got me from dead last to, I think, third or something last week. Yeah, it's going to be hard saying goodbye to the Mustang because it actually was quite nice during that whole race. But for me, the McLaren's very point and steer, and that's what I like. So I'll be switching over to that.
Mate, congratulations on the race result here. Who would you like to thank for getting it done for you and P2 in the least happy Mustang in the field?
Obviously, all the sponsors, boys, Foz, Jimmy, Owen, Jimmy and Rick for putting the series on, you boys for broadcasting at Race Control. Obviously, we couldn't have a good series without all those things that work. So, yeah, to everyone behind the scenes, thank you.
Mate, congratulations on the race result. Go and tell Jimmy just how you're supposed to drive the Mustang, mate.
He should learn a few lessons or two after that race now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Dutch finishes out of P2 here tonight. We're going to jump down and have a little bit of a chat to our overall race leader and overall championship winner. Well, fell a little bit in terms of his lap, but Trent, you weren't necessarily the fastest car, but you were the most consistent. That's how 2 hours worth of races tend to be won, mate.
Yeah, true. My plan was just to sit where I was and piddle around and finish. I just wanted to finish the race, so only when Owen had a problem, and then I realised I could sort of keep pace with Rue, and then it was touch and go whether we'd be able to fuel save to the end, and then I short fueled him in second last stop because I knew he had to change tyres and I didn't because I'd already done it in the first, so just undercut him and pulled away, and then the safety cars did my anxiety in.
Mate, safety cars are doing our anxiety in as well because we were thinking potentially last run. There's a couple of guys who might not need to pit for fuel here. They did jump up the order and bits and pieces, but that became a straight out-and-out fight at the back end of that race. And Rue was slowly catching you. Was much of a strategy when he got to you?
No, it was if he stuck it up the inside, I was going to let him have it. I'm assuming I was on older tyres than the guys behind me. I just didn't have any pace towards the end. But yeah, it was stick to my line, and if Rue was going to fire one up the inside, I was going to let him have it. I'm more worried about the title than the race win.
Mate, congratulations on the championship as well. You know, the biggest thing I think for you is just consistency through each and every one of the rounds, putting towards basically just a big old bank of points. Of course, skipping round 4 a long time in the rear view, but you've got to be quick, but you've got to be consistent, I think, is the big thing. And you've managed to stay trouble-free just about the way throughout the championship.
Yeah, that's been the biggest part. That's been my trouble with every season before this is I don't think my pace is any better. It's just being smarter about how you go racing, and especially in first stints in the race, just sit where you are and figure it out from there. Don't go hell for leather. And yeah, there's a lot of times I've made silly moves or mistakes and binned it, and that was all this season's focus was just to minimise those things and then see what happens.
Like, finally, congratulations on the championship. Congratulations on the race win. Who would you like to give a shout out to thank you to?
Thank you. To our team sponsors, AITT, Sudspeed, Kibi Clothing, IR Sidekick, Bunny Builds, Shore by 4, and all my teammates. Hard luck to Brad, who was in the running to win the Challenger class but just missed out, and Fonz for the top 3 in Elite, and yeah, all the guys in our team for helping out. And thank you guys as well for the season.
Well, congratulations on the championship. You got the opportunity to, well, the biggest benefit of that late safety car is you saved enough fuel to go and do a fair few donuts. So, hey, at least you got some luck out of those tires.
True. I'll make one into a coffee table.
Ladies and gentlemen, championship winner from the elite class here for 2025 and the Dash Off-Road Premier Endurance League GT3 series here for this season. We've got one more interview coming your way before we will step aside and say goodbye to you for the end of the Limited Series Championship. It's the man who managed to finish second out of the Challenger class here tonight, Jesse McMenamin from Leap Juice Racing. Mate, final safety car run of the flag, that looked frantic.
Yeah, lucky enough that safety car came when it did. I was able to save enough fuel to make it to the end. It was a bit touch and go, but
there was a bunch of guys in behind you that were all over you, and rubber, I think, became the big thing I think about Suzuka is when you show up here, that the tyres are going to take an absolute pounding because there's just so many long, loaded, high-speed corners. Tyres became the biggest talking point towards the back end because there was a bunch of guys whose tyres just switched off, and that such was the nature of the safety car timings.
Yeah, definitely. The first stint, we actually double stinted our first set of tyres, and that was not a good idea. By the end of the second stint, it was just really hard to drive, but thankfully it all worked out.
Like, in terms of the championship here this season, it's not necessarily been the greatest way to go about things, but you only finish, less than 200 points off the overall championship lead. What is the step up? I'm looking actually at your point hauls, and you basically, for 3 of the 5 rounds, scored 190, 191, and 192 points. So I think you can say your season was relatively consistent, all things considered.
Yeah, just can't qualify. And a lot of the guys around me are like a lot quicker, like Sean. He's really stepped up in pace, Sean Benici. Just suppose I need to do some more training, work at it. Can only really jag a decent result when I get lucky with safety cars and other people crashing out around me. So,
well, I mean, the biggest thing is the safety cars are just an option to really try and outsmart. I said to JP a couple of times about the broadcast tonight, Suzuka's all about outsmarting people, and it looks like you at least pluck the right strings here tonight. Who would you like to give a thank you and a shout out to for the result here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Vinny for giving me an extra spot. That was a spin on purpose for me. At the end there, just our sponsors, Juiced Energy, Racecraft, Sudspeed, and Stockhall, and all the guys in the team.
Mate, congratulations on finishing second here tonight. Hopefully, a few better qualifying laps next season, and who knows what will be possible.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Really appreciate the league and all the work the guys do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to bring us to a close here on the Off-Road Dash Gaming Gear, Premier Endurance League GT3. And JP, that brings us to a close on the Limited Series for the first half of 2025, mate. New tire model. I think the big thing is there's a lot of guys still struggling to adapt to that new tire model, and it's certainly shown it over the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, it definitely has, and I think it's been a great end to the season, to be honest. Even with Spa, that obviously when the race that never was, it's still, I don't know how much it would have affected things at the moment as well, but Trent Allen takes the win in the Elites. Saxon in the Challengers. We'll see him next season in the Elites, of course. Revolution E-Racing in the teams. It's been an absolutely amazing season. Keep an eye out on the Premier Endurance League Discord, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get yourselves involved as well, you can. Discord link on your screen as well. But much love to all the sponsors that come on board as well, and our title sponsor, Dash Off-Road. But I've been JP. I've been alongside Scotty Rankin and also Dean Biggles in the booth on production. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, take care, have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on the track next season. Good night.